That's crazy how that works out.
It is kind of crazy given the the number of times that I told you we were going live and we did not go live. The fact that we're
It's
really
true.
there is wow. Can you believe it?
It's a miracle.
You and me on the internet. Just the two of us, which actually happens fairly rarely.
That's actually true. That's actually true.
um,
It's one of those situations that seems like it would happen often, but it just doesn't.
but it just doesn't happen that often. Oh wow, I messed our stream up real bad. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Cool, cool. All
Oh, we're so small. Hi,
right.
us.
All right. I think we're normal again. Are we normal again? Yeah. Nice.
Wow. What ails you? The hedge witch is here to heal your woes.
What?
Well, hard to say. Twitch just let me know. Little push notification
Oh,
for me.
nice. That's oh
That's
that's
just what
that's
we're doing
that's our
today.
push notification. Yeah, nice. That's great.
Hey, Time Roller.
Whoops.
I'm actually shocked that you're coming in directly here because Amanda is currently streaming. And I know you're from the Amanda contingent. She'll be joining us in a minute once we tell her that we're doing this. She
Which we
does
should
know.
do.
It's true.
uh,
But that's not my job.
it's
I've
not?
decided.
Okay.
No, it's not.
All right. Great. I guess that leaves me to do it.
I'll tell you folks why it's not my job. It's not my job because I am still messing around with the play sheet that we'll be using today so that it can be the prettiest play sheet at the ball.
Kurt
If you
put
don't know what a
so
play sheet
much.
is,
Yeah.
it's what you use to play.
Hey, we learned something today.
Well, hopefully
Hey,
not. That one
we
seems
learned
like it
something.
maybe should have been self-evident.
Yeah, Kurt puts a ton of effort into the little spreadsheets he does
Those little things.
that we
To be
used to play
fair,
behind the scenes, and then none of you ever get to see it. Nobody sees his beautiful work except for me and Amanda. But every time there's like even passably enjoyable role playing happening on this channel, it's because we are inspired by the spreadsheet we see in front of us. You know. In the like special like behind the scenes stuff for Lord of the Rings, there was like this detail that got stuck in my head when I watched it like a million times as a child, where like on the inside of Theoden's breastplate there is like a beautiful horse engraved, and like the audience will never see it, of course, it's hidden the whole time. But every time he put it on, he could see this, the actor could see the detail. I was like, really believed he was a king, and that made it through, that feeling made it through to the movie. In the same way, Kurt's spreadsheets make me believe that I am a king.
wow, nice.
And I have little spreadsheet peasants creating spreadsheets for me to enjoy.
Very good.
Very good. Um, this is Lies You'll Enjoy, which is something I'll probably end up saying again in a second. Um, but this is a little corner of the internet where we tell you lies, and this is mostly for the people who will end up watching the VOD later on. But if you've been paying any attention, we've been lying a lot. Last week we told you that we were an ooze, a ghost, and a guy who lives in his parents' basement. And this week,
I had to think about it for a second. I was like, surely that wasn't our actual cast of characters, but that is who we were playing
I
last
think that
time.
was who we were playing. Hello, everybody from who is this here? Vampex13 is rating in. Hey, thank you
Oh,
so much for
interesting.
trusting us with your audience. Tonight we're going to be playing a little tabletop RPG, and we're going to be joined by a friend of ours. You might have heard of her. Her name's Amanda McKnight, Vampex13 to some.
That's her name.
Hello, Rapala, Otto. Welcome, welcome. What this means is I should probably let Amanda into the Zoom call at some point.
Well, maybe. She probably doesn't even want to be here. She's like, I need a break. Honestly, she probably does need a break. Who knows how long Amanda's been streaming? She
That's a
just
good point.
goes.
How long has Amanda been streaming, folks?
Yeah, let us in on the secret.
Anyways, welcome to Lies You'll Enjoy. I'm assuming that Amanda has described it in great detail, but if she hasn't, for any chance, by any chance, Kurt and Amanda and I are going to be playing a tabletop RPG. This week we are playing Lordsworn, which we've never played before. Most weeks we play a game we have never played before, and I'm so excited. It is about the devout followers and warriors, champions of a god, who have gone into battle with this god in a great divine war, and we are not the winners of that war. We have watched
We've
our
lost real
gods
bad.
real bad.
We
We
got our butts kicked. Our
we
god's dead.
our
Legit.
god, they did.
They did.
All right.
But what are you going to do?
Amanda's going to join us here in a second. And for a second, it will appear like Kurt is Amanda, but he is not. Do not be fooled.
That's true. It's just a big trick.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm just in my Black Widow cosplay, so if you don't mind, I'm just gonna change back into my other clothes for a minute, and then I'll be good to start.
This looks like
But I
what you
can
normally
also-
wear. Seems
Right?
typical.
Totally. A cat suit with I just took off my gloves and everything with like
Oh, the
a
gloves would have done
belt
it.
on it. That's yeah. It's got like a holster on it and everything. But yeah, so I'm going to a change.
Yeah.
But before I do, should we like say who we are and then is that a good rhythm or should I change first? Well, you guys intro. I don't know. What do we want the order to be?
You go change. You go
You go
change.
change.
We're
Yeah?
gonna hang out.
Get into some comfortable
right.
clothes.
All right, I'm gonna change. But also I just want to say to everyone that joined us on the raid, hello raiders. Thank you so much for raiding in. I appreciate you. Thank you, me, for trusting us with
I already
your
made
community.
that joke.
Oh, you guys already made that joke.
It's true. It's true.
All right. Well, that's what I get for showing up late. Cool. Well, I will go change then, and then I'll be right back. And yeah, everybody stay tuned for some awesome storytelling. It's going to be great. BRB.
All right. See you soon,
Just in case
Amanda.
you were all curious, Amanda has no idea what it is we're about to play. Absolutely no clue. Neither did Anthony until having to set up this whole situation, because that's kind of how we go. You know what? Actually, you know what? I take that back. It is totally possible that Amanda checked the schedule and told you all even what we're about to play.
Ooh.
Because
Does Amanda know what
been
we're
thought
playing?
out.
Have you been told? That's a good question. I
We
think that
simply can't
Amanda
know.
saw it in chat, Kurt, earlier. I believe she liked your message to us.
Gotcha. Well, that'll do it then. Today, my plan of make all thumbnails into overlays directly has resulted in a mountain that's mostly not visible, but I think it's still good enough for me to be pleased. I've decided I'm not displeased with this mountainous situation going on behind us.
I love this
Hello.
overlay. It's beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Oh my god.
And so are you, everyone joining us.
Hi, everyone.
I know I can't see your faces, and that's what makes it so much easier to tell you that.
And that's what makes
Because
you
if I could
beautiful.
see you, it would be like, oh, is he flirting? Oh, is he trying to get a better tip? Oh, is he like, does he actually see me for who I am inside? Or is this like a purely physical thing? But I don't know what you look like, so that's why it's a great compliment.
Yeah. Kurt, if you had to like say one thing in a Twitch chat to make the streamers fall in love with you, what would you say?
Well, it has to be personalized, doesn't it? I can't just make an entire chat fall in love with me. That's not how love works.
I'm just trying to think
Or
of like,
chats.
I think we should, evaluate whether the audience is indeed beautiful. And I'm trying to figure out, maybe everyone should just say one thing. We're just getting a sense of all the beauty that's here with us today. But then I was like, what would I say? How do I, portray my beauty in one sentence?
It's a big question. It's a big question.
Otto suggests that just a link to your OnlyFans would be the right way to do it. Perhaps.
You know what? That's actually really good, Otto.
That's a
That's
good
probably
call.
the best move. Don't know why I didn't think of that in the first place, because that's pretty much 100% success rate so far. But what are you going to do? Sometimes the obvious solution doesn't come to you and you have to make do.
What was Amanda playing today? We were unfortunately setting up over
Yeah.
here, so I didn't have her stream open. Right now I have 3 beverages going on, so keep track of that tonight. See if you can collect them all. I think last time we played the game of what is Anthony drinking? The answer was lemonade, which is a dangerous one to play. Because you know what? Lemonade looks like some not great things. Assassin's Creed.
That is true.
Nice.
Oh,
New
that's
Assassin's
fun.
Creed game is out. We will not be playing Assassin's Creed tonight, so if that's what you're hoping for, I am sorry to disappoint. Oh my gosh, Black Widow is dressed
That's what I
really
was hoping
weird.
for.
You were hoping we were going to play Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I think we can all agree with that. Interesting. Okay.
My favorite thing
My
about...
chart is right.
Oh, you ready?
My chart is right.
Okay.
I'm more ready than I was before. Every moment that we vamp, if you will, Anthony made that joke earlier, but we weren't on stream, so you guys don't know. So now it seems like I'm the clever, funny one. Every moment that we vamp, another element gets added to this spreadsheet. It grows before us like so much ichor.
Ichor, I think so. Yeah, I love that this
Ichor
stream...
grow, or does ichor just like leech?
I'm sure it grows sometimes, you know? It's got to grow before it can ooze, perhaps.
Yeah, no, that only makes sense. That only makes sense.
Currently, this stream, the content is one guy's making a spreadsheet, one person's cleaning up their house, and then there's just me. And that's a good stream. We keep innovating new content you can put on a stream.
There's no better kind of stream than that. I think that's widely known.
Widely known. Oh my gosh. Wow, Black Widow left, but Amanda, our friend, has returned. This is great news.
It is great news.
It feels like a lot of streaming for Amanda to stream for 3.5 hours and then come on and play a brand new game with us. But I guess people on this website stream for a lot longer every single day, so.
Right. It's a lot for us little baby novices over here.
Yeah.
But for a real hardcore streamer like Amanda,
when we start
no sweat.
So hardcore.
When we stream like past like 2.5 hours, I'm like, wow, is this a marathon? Is this like is this a streamathon right now?
This is a big day.
Yeah.
It's a big day.
Welcome back, Amanda.
Thank you.
How are you feeling after your stream?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling alive, awake. We had a fun time. We were trying to find origami butterflies at the end of stream.
Whoa.
I just unlocked Yasuke, the samurai, in Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I was running around as Yasuke, and then I was like, what do we want to do for our first quest? Let's go find those origami butterflies, guys.
Why did you slip into a bro voice for that?
Classic.
What are we going to do for our first quest?
Because I'm playing like a really tough like samurai. Like he's like can break doors by running into them.
Whoa, that's fun.
And I was like, what do I want to do? Find some origami butterflies.
That does seem like you playing a game, you know? Anytime you're given an off-ramp, perhaps a side quest, a little whimsy.
I love a side quest. I also have been wanting to find these butterflies for a while. So I was like, you know what? It's nice. It's low level. And I feel like the idea of it being Yasuke, not Nawe, that's looking for the origami butterflies, I don't know, it just feels really cute. So I was like, let's do it. And then we pet so many cats and dogs. You can pet cats and dogs in Shadows. And I was just like, I'm just imagining when people come in to do their lines for this game and they're like, okay, these are all the lines where you kill people. It's like, oh, like, yes, now you are dead. And then you pet the animals and it's like, oh, you're the cutest. You're so cute. Oh, you are very soft. And I'm like, what a different vibe.
But imagine...
I hope they did them on the same day.
Imagine if they got the lines mixed up, you know? And you're just like stabbing and it's like,
so
you're so cute. Oh, you're so beautiful and so soft. And then you're petting a cat and you're like,
I saw a video of a guy that killed someone who was whistling when he started killing him.
Whoa,
and this guy
what a
just like
sentence.
kept whistling throughout being killed. So that was a whole thing.
In a video game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good,
Let's hope.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, folks, now 15 minutes in, let's pretend we've just started streaming. Welcome to
Yes.
Lies You'll Enjoy, a little corner of the internet where we tell you lies every week. I feel like you should have caught on to it by now, you know? couple weeks ago, we pretended we were what? Gods, sewing the very fabric of reality from the ether. And before that, we pretended that we were the eclectic residents of a bed and breakfast. Both of those things can't be true, so you should be on to us by now. We've been lying. And all we can hope.
We've been lying.
We've been lying. We've been lying. But we can only hope that you enjoy those lies, as we are going to keep doing it. Get ready for a whole new batch of lies in a whole new direction. This week, as you can see from down there, we are playing Lordsworn, a game about the champions, the followers of a powerful god who have gone into battle with that god in a divine battle against the other divine creatures of this realm. But we are not the winners of that battle. No.
I feel like this theme so far this season, gods, is a recurring theme so far.
I knew you would say that. We're not gods in this one, though. We just had a god who died.
I'm just saying, gods are still present.
Fair enough.
Which I appreciate.
No more god
Kind
content
of cool
this season, Kurt.
No more god con.
No, I like it. More god con.
I should start like a religious retreat and then call it god con.
God con.
Welcome to god con.
Welcome to god con.
I'm assuming that exists. And it might not be the kind of vibe we're expecting.
If it doesn't, we just manifested it into existence, probably.
Yeah, we watched our god die, and I think now in this game we will take the role of the followers of that god, trying to make our way home in sort of the aftermath of it all, with the power of our god wrenched from this realm. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think that sounds super cool.
Sounds neat.
Before we get started, let's tell you who we all are. It's the same three of us who are here every week, but perhaps you're new here and you'd like to know who we are. My name is Anthony. I am, among other things, a children's author, a long-time lover of role-playing games. I've been playing since I was 6 years old, and my older sister very kindly let me be a troublesome dwarf in her advanced D&D game. Back in the day, and I have been playing since then, dungeon mastering, playing all sorts of games, but I really have found my home here playing cool indie tabletop role-playing games with these two. I just love making up stories each week, and that's what we're going to do one more time. But I will not do it alone. No, I will not. Kurt, who are you?
Well, my name's Kurt. Hello, folks. My name's Kurt. I am a designer of RPGs. I play RPGs, and a lot of the time I find cool niche RPGs, pieces that maybe people don't talk about as much as your big letter ampersand letter type of dealio. Maybe some stuff that's much more interesting to me personally. This game I'll have plenty of things to say about, but before I finish my intro, I'll just say, Toronto designer. I haven't met them, but I know that they were within a few meters of me because their wares were on sale at Breakout Con, which means that they were at Breakout Con. So, 2 ships in the night. So that's pretty much what I have going on here, folks.
Well, now if you meet them next Breakout Con, you can be like, I played your game.
Well, they'll already know because I messaged them about this. Perhaps even now, Marin watches the VOD. Hello, Marin.
Hi,
hello.
Marin.
But perhaps not.
Yeah, maybe not.
After we all said hi. If we said hi, not to Marin, who knows?
It's true.
That only leaves one member of our party.
Me?
Who dat?
Hello, I'm Amanda. Some people know me as Vamp. I am a streamer, a cosplayer, a YouTuber, an actor. And I love stories. I love telling stories. I love making up stories and little lies for y'all to enjoy. And I love playing RPGs, especially with my friends Anthony and Kurt, who are just, we used to be called the Dream Team, and we still very much are that for me. I have so much fun playing games with these fine folks. And I think my favorite thing is that we really do explore such a fun range of just different games that are things you normally won't see in other places. which also is exciting because it means that now that you see them, hopefully they will appear more as more of us get the word out and people will play these little games because there's way more out there than just, yeah, kind of like the big two that people know best when it comes to what you can play for an RPG and what an RPG even can be.
Yeah,
That
what's the other one? What's the other one? What did you
What
mean
are the
by that?
two?
Yeah.
D&D and Pathfinder.
Pathfinder.
hmm
Oh, I've
hmm
heard of that.
hmm Yeah. Some people prefer Pathfinder to D&D, I know. Um, some people prefer neither.
Well, some some
Um,
people just can't be helped.
some people just can't be helped. So yeah, that's who I am, and I will also be eating. My apologies. I just have been streaming since around like 3:20 or 3:40 or something. So I did need to eat, and people in stream were encouraging me to order food, so I did do that. And I have
You
stuffed
gotta
crust
eat.
pizza, so I'm gonna eat it. Yeah, gotta eat.
We
Gotta
celebrate
eat.
this.
Also, I like that Otto said that hardcore voice that I did was just my normal voice, and I put on my other voice for stream. That is true. That is exactly what I sound like at all times in real life.
Actually true.
This is all facade. I'm really good at it though, because I can hold it for extended periods of time, but
Pretty impressive.
me talking like this, that's really what I sound like. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, guys, I love pizza.
Sometimes we're about to go live and we have to be like, Amanda, stop. You be
Amanda,
careful.
put the facade on. Awesome. So what are we doing in this game today? I noticed I went into the folder and I don't see any. Is there anything that I need to have open right now? Am I slacking?
No, okay, I'll make a duplicate. It's time. It's time. Everyone
A
knows it's
duplicate?
time.
What do you
Yeah,
mean a
so
duplicate?
the whole time we've been talking, I've been fussing around with the spreadsheet, building it out
Oh,
just a
okay.
little
No,
bit
no, no.
more.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like, do you guys all have something open right now? And I'm just like, can't find the thing.
No,
Nah.
you're right. It's time. We
Okay.
all know it's time.
Time to
And
drop
so,
that hot spreadsheet.
Unless we just want to turn this into a spreadsheet stream, you know, Kurt, you could just finish making the spreadsheet. We could all watch.
That's the other thing. Google Sheets is also like kind of our subcategory for our streams. It's like
Subcategory.
tabletop RPGs, but then subcategory Google Sheets.
How many people on Twitch are playing Google Sheets, you know? I want to know.
We could be the only ones. We could be starting the trend.
Dominate the category. New hot stream game, Google Sheets. It's multiplayer. That's cool. You know, you can invite your friends.
I will say the amount of things that we've done in Google Sheets that Kurt has like built, it's actually you can do a lot of cool things in Google Sheets. I will say. I'm
will
impressed.
say.
I will say. All right, well, I've made the doc. You
I
can
can
all
see
see it
it.
now. It's available.
Rapala made a Google Sheet at work today.
Wow.
Who here's made a Google Sheet?
We love a Google
Google
Sheet.
Sheet, shout out in the chat.
Play sheet. I see it.
Sound off with your favorite spreadsheet software.
Yeah.
I just think it's so cool that Google Sheets is like free.
Yeah, big fan myself.
Mhm.
I would be paying for it if it wasn't, but if it wasn't free, then would I be developing these tools? Because half the joy for me is that afterwards, depending
Everyone
on
can
the,
use it.
I can be like, hey, everyone, do you want to use this? This one has probably too much of the game in it, so I'll probably just say to the designer, hey, if you want, you can privately distribute this as part of like the purchase of the game's digital
Mhm.
files. But
Mhm.
we'll see. We'll see if that's something that we wish. So it is roughly time to play Lordsworn.
Roughly. Are you ready, Kurt? Do you want to give us a little intro, or do you need some more time?
Actually, maybe Anthony, I could elect you to read out the introduction that you'll find at the bottom of the landing page there.
Sweet. Okay. Here we go. You rode to war at the call of your god, swore yourself to their divinity, as the drums of war beat from every corner of the pantheon. Standing beside your divinity, their purpose was so clear and noble that you felt immortal. Beside your fellow Lordsworns, you felt your victory a certainty, battle but a trivial formality. Now, they lay dead before you, their god blood flowing into the dirt. Already the world lurches in distress, twisting at the loss of a god, one of many to die this day. Your captain, too, lies broken, entrusting the survivors of your company to you. Of the thousands who rode out, you are all that remains of your company. Your god is dead. You only have each other now.
Hell
Dang.
yeah.
Hell
Dang.
yeah.
So this game is going to be a
Intense.
tone, yeah, a bit intense. We're going to have a bit of a bummer theoretically, depending on how we want to play it. But it
I
could
love a
also
bit of a
end up
bummer.
hopeful. It could end up certainly we'll have moments of respite, moments of joy in between. But definitely this game, in case anybody's not reading between the lines here, it's inspired by stuff like the FromSoft series of games from that studio, your Elden Rings, your Dark Souls. We are tragic figures ultimately, which is fun. Love a little sad. Me personally, love a little sad.
I love a
Love
little
being a
sad.
tragic figure.
Me too.
Amanda, what's your
Okay.
favorite emotion in a game?
My favorite emotion?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Or vibe, you know?
mm.
Humor is not an emotion, but
I
think it
like when
counts.
things are like kind of like I don't know how I would describe. I don't know if this is an emotion, but I like when things get introspective in a way that is like heightened by emotion. So like where we think about where we ponder things that exist in life as we live as humans, but through the story and through like some heightened emotion, whether that's love, sadness, fear, hope. So I just like when things are so, I guess what I like is emotions that are just so, any emotion that is so highly charged that it makes you think about what's happening in your own life like now.
Hmm.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I hear
So
you.
just
Does that make
Some
sense?
intensity.
fun.
Yeah.
I like when things get intense. Yeah, I guess like I don't know, I think for our games some of the most epic moments have been either like sadness or hopeful,
Yeah.
but also humor
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your favorite emotion in
Uh,
games, Anthony?
well, probably sad, but like I like
Probably sad.
I like tragic, you know? I like
Tragic,
inevitably
yeah.
sad. I like there's
Tragic is really good because it's like it's not just sad, it's like dramatic.
I like when it's like clear that there's no way around this. I think that's my favorite beat in a game is when it's like
Right.
this is just the way it has to be, and it's not
There's
good.
there's nothing else that we can do. It's just like this is just where it's going and we just have to accept it, our fate.
Yeah.
Or revolt against it, but ultimately it's gonna happen anyways.
Dang.
Yeah.
And Kurt, your
What
favorite
about you,
emotion?
Kurt?
Bittersweetness. Ooh, love a little bittersweetness. We'll see if I can't shoehorn
Ooh.
any in there today.
Nice.
But if we're just vamping so that I can mess around with the spreadsheet, let me tell you, folks, we can do some things right now.
Okay.
Uh, our first step in this game is going to be choosing a god who was
Our God.
our god. That didn't go so well.
Bad
On the
choice.
tab called God and Company, I am going to ask you to begin by taking a little gander at our gods on offer. We all have one. We're part of the same crew, if you will. So
Right.
we're going to together, we can either now, okay, actually pause. So here's something about this game. This game is designed so that if you want, you could randomize pretty much every element of it. And this is on purpose because it's based on the Caltrop core system, but the die that it uses for every roll is a D4.
Okay.
Do I support the use of D4s? I do not. They're wretched little triangles, pieces of garbage. But
You really hate D4s?
really hate them real bad. They roll
Why?
bad, they feel bad, they're hard to read. I can respect that they're a platonic solid, but my God, who's dead? I don't like them. I just don't. However,
Don't
if
like
you're a
'em.
hater like me, you can actually use so many different dice as an option if you want to roll a d4 selection of numbers, because so many of our dice in the set are multiplied, are the products of four, right? We
You
can
could just
roll a
divide it by
d8,
4.
we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
roll a d12, we can roll a d20. Wow, that's plenty of options for haters like me. I wanted to bring this up
I never knew that you
because,
hated D4s.
oh, they're the worst. They're the worst. So, actually, you know what? There's this game that's gotten a lot of press recently called Triangle Academy, I believe
Okay.
it's called. And people, Triangle Agency, excuse me. And people love Triangle Agency. It's only D4s. I can't. I cannot. I'm so sorry, Triangle Agency. I just can't. But
You're probably great, Triangle Agency, but
you're probably great. I've only heard
it's a lot of
great things.
triangles.
A lot of
You know?
triangles. That's the problem. Yeah. So, have either of you taken a little gander at the drop-down list at the top left-hand section of God and Company? Feel free to click on one if you want to see what their face look like. Now, if we rolled, we could get an option between 1 and 8,
Mm.
which there are 8 gods.
Mm.
That would do it.
Whoa. Lodex looks crazy.
I mean, I kind of like a random.
Just a little random.
I mean, they all seem pretty cool. I like Lodex and Nestix the most. But
Lodix
I
the
think
Eternal,
I'm down for random. I
Nestix
feel like
the
random
Quiet.
can always be fun. Also, I will say, Rapala, if you're still here, you suggested in my stream that I get dessert. You're right. I shouldn't have gotten spicy chicken. Why did I do that? It's too much savory. I want something sweet, but now I don't have it.
Well, did
I have
you?
regrets.
Well, too much savory. Did you have dinner?
Yeah, I just had 2 slices of pizza.
Oh, okay. So you got pizza and chicken.
I got chicken with the pizza, and I'm like, I should have just gone for
Gotcha.
dessert. I just didn't. I was like, "Hey, you don't need dessert." And I'm like, no, I don't need dessert, but it's like a nice, after you have some pizza, it's nice to have a little dessert.
Right.
Wrong with
But you
that?
just got stuck eating a whole
Next time,
carcass.
I'm gonna listen to Rapala. Rapala knows. Rapala knows what's up. That's what I would like to say. So, Rapala, you were right. Yes, dessert for the win always. Yeah, you know, and you know me, and you were right. I should have listened to you, but that's all right. The chicken is also very good. Don't have major regrets, but I have slight regrets. Jeff, the god of D4s, says Locke. That's who Locke worships. Jeff, the god of D4s.
Well, that's really on me. My bad.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry
Pretty
for
rude.
making such a controversial statement about gods and D4s.
Gilgamesh says D4s are caltrop shaped, hence the system name.
Bingo. Yeah.
There you go.
Good brain.
Amanda, you were thinking, was it Lotix the Eternal or Nestix the Quiet?
Those are the ones that jumped out the most to me, but I'm also totally cool to do a random. I like that idea too. So
Okay, I mean, I'm
very
kind
open.
of sold on the Lotix. I feel like the idea of a god whose like core essence is eternalness.
And then dies?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of
seems
messed up,
interesting.
isn't it?
That is fun. I mean, now that you put it that way, that's fun.
All right, let's choose Lotix the Eternal. Our god was the god or goddess of nature, the soul, death, and harmony. Interesting.
Oh, that's unfortunate. What an awful one to lose, honestly. It sounds like a pretty good god.
Yeah. Okay. Nature, the soul, death, and harmony. Keep that in mind. We now need to choose what was our god's motive for going to war. All the gods have come together in a grand war. We have some options. I'm going to show the dear people at home.
It wasn't that they were having a fight over whether or not people should get to create ideas in the waking world or in the sleeping world, was it?
I don't think that's one of the options.
Pretty
Whoa.
crazy if it was.
These are all specific to Lotix, which is giving me a little insight into just how much work this was for Kurt to put together.
No, no, no. No, no.
No,
Easy
no.
breezy.
Okay. So here's some options
Yes.
about why we go to war. Violence
Yes.
may be the mainstay of nature, but war is a foreign invader upon the delicate balance of the ecosystem of life. Lotix knows to destroy the weeds swiftly, lest the garden die. So we were going to war to end war, I think.
Right.
Okay.
And
Let
it's
us
away.
go to war to end the war.
Or we could have gone to war for this reason. The soul, gifted to each living thing by Lotix, agency and the moment of decision that informs the flesh. Ugh. Before the hand
Flesh.
grips the steel, the soul has made it so. Before the war was started, Lotix willed it so. Yo, this is cool.
Look, it's a cool game.
Each of these is really neat. We have two more. I shouldn't have read them all because each one's so long and so much to take in. But we won't read all the options forever. Option number 3, the shepherd, the herald, the guide. Lotix has been given many names from grieving lovers and the souls they reap. This war would see many souls threshed. Let the harvest begin. So perhaps
so
we
we're like
went to
doing
war.
it in honor of like
I think
Lotix,
in
basically?
order to collect the souls, war is good for it sends many to the next realm,
Right.
which is very interesting given that our god also left this realm.
Ooh, interesting point. Well, what jumps out at us?
I would vote the last one that I read, that we were there to thresh the souls, to guide them into the next realm.
Sure. Yeah. Do you
What do you
think the
think?
war was already happening and we were like, we got to get in on this? We got to be guidance here? Or do you think
I feel like
we started the war in part to bring people to the next? Because that's a little fucked up.
It's definitely fucked up, but I think I can see the purity of it. You know, like if your god is the god of the next life, of the underworld, and perhaps there's an imbalance. You know, there's too many people upon this world. I can see the purity of marching into war to harvest the souls, and that maybe we started it, and then there's, you know, chaos has unfurled as many gods have joined various sides, and this great calamity has happened.
I wonder if it's like for us, our part was to basically just get these souls, like for our god. So it's almost like a sacrificial like slaughter to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that seems right. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah.
And then it all went wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
And-
think it's also like even if we died in the fight, it was also like celebrated among like our group?
I think gravely, perhaps, because we still had a mission to do is the thing, and we weren't successful. So
But
I
it's
think,
like then we were kind of part of the sacrifice for the god.
yeah,
So
maybe
there's like
death
a
means different
bittersweet
things.
nature maybe to it, like of like you're not there to help us on the mission, but also now you kind of get to be with Lodix, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you get to be part of the thing that helps to like, you know, feed our god.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that was true right up until the god passed, because I don't think the god's in the other realm now. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Annihilated.
Gone,
you know?
annihilated forever from everything forever. Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, how
Beautiful.
else do you destroy something that is eternal, right? Like it has to be completely obliterated, right?
Oh, that makes our mission so much worse, because it means that whatever we thought that was good that was going to happen over there
We
because
failed
of
on
this,
like a whole other level.
didn't even consider failing on this level.
Yeah,
And now
because there's
no
like no
underworld?
redemption. No underworld.
Nowhere to go?
Possibly.
Going commando, as it were.
Okay. The next thing we have to decide is how did our god's death affect the world? And we've got some sick options here. One of them being the trees become sickly and gnarled, grasses wither, harvests falter as wildlife become frenzied. The natural order revolts against humanity. Or perhaps the dead creak and groan, restless in their tombs, as those who once rested within burial mounds claw outwards. The dead rise now. That's horrific.
I like that.
I mean, there's a rhyming to it that makes sense, that
yeah.
Lotix was there to guide the souls, perhaps, to whatever is beyond. And now, his patronage is gone. Where are the souls to go except for to snap back to their earthly vessels?
Woo.
We have a couple other options. Anything else, Amanda, Kurt, that jump out to you?
I guess I should, I should be taking a closer look. I've
Kurt's
just
making
been
a spreadsheet
listening.
somewhere.
I'm not. Yes, I am. I am. If this cell doesn't equal this cell, then present this option. That's not what I'm doing in the background at all.
You became Mr. Boggs.
Mr. Boggs is a little more like this.
Okay,
You
here's an option
Boggs-ish
that's...
in nature.
Oh, sorry.
You know.
That's it. No, you're good. You're good.
Here's an option that's like that previous one, but maybe a little subtler, a little more, a little more haunted rather than like gore. Many have always feared spirits in the world after death. Now all do. Haunted are the lands, filled with harrowing screams of those lost in an endless quagmire of greatness. No gentle embrace to find them now.
Sure. Yeah. Freaky.
Yeah.
Freaky.
Instead of the bodies wandering, perhaps the souls wander this plane now.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Okay.
And then our next question is, what was your home called? Right? No, we don't have the god's motive for. Oh, I just didn't name that. Well,
we have a problem.
A mild problem. So the question that's actually supposed to be presented there is not what is your god's motive for going to war? It is instead, just pulling up any one of these, what god mark, the result of such proximity to your god, now blesses your body?
Oh. Whoa.
Okay. Oh.
What god
giving
mark
avowed.
One possibility. From your head sprout horns of elk or rams. Blooming flowers and creeping vines grow happily amongst them. Moss and mushrooms grow on your armor and clothing. Whoa. Or those in your presence feel a certain peacefulness overtake them, their muscles and minds uncoiling. But is now a time for rest? Or, if we want to go a little more hardcore, one half of your entire body has become skeletal bones, enwreathed in a cold, spectral-like green flame that dances and flickers. Yikes.
I feel like, I like the idea of people in our presence becoming like just kind of calmed.
Yeah.
I think that could be really useful too for like when we were in the fight.
Ooh.
Even though we lost, it's like that idea of like facing a foe and they just kind of want to give up a little bit. Like they just feel like a little bit more comfortable.
That's pretty cool, Amanda.
About relaxing.
That. Yeah. That like as we progressed on the battlefield was like a wave of like people, like enemy combatants,
kind of like relaxing around us a little bit.
And we could just tear through
I also
them.
like the idea of like in that final moment before they sort of pass over. It's like kind of just this resolve of like you just want to accept it, and it's almost like a gift that we give to people.
That's very interesting. I think it's cool. I think we should choose it. Kurt?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Sweet.
Our next question is, what was your home called? Where have we come from? And this one's way easier than the others. There's so much less for me to read. Ready? This is going to be really easy. We have 4 options. Odongao, Wester, Oamwood, or Alfir. Amanda? Odongao,
I like Ohm.
Wester, Oamwood, or Alfir.
I like Ohmwood.
Oamwood is sick.
Cool.
Oamwood.
Okay.
What is unique about your home's geography? What do we know about Oamwood, do you think? We have some options.
Okay, what do we
Okay,
got?
It's true.
Here's the quick version, and I can give you the long version. But the quick version is this. We could have a flourishing wetlands, a horizon-long salt flat, a solemn lake, or a large fissure.
Hey, nice work. That was a good little abridging. There's a lot of text in those.
There is a lot of text. For example...
I like...
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
Oh, I was going to say I like the fissure or what was the one that you said? The salt break?
A horizon-long salt flat.
Salt flat. What's a salt
Do you
flat?
like the sound of a salt flat? Is like a place where there used to be a lake or an oceanic body, and now it's sort of almost a desert.
Just a salty bin.
Yeah.
Well,
Bin?
yeah.
Got you.
Just a salty bin.
Just a salty bin. Me nan's
Yeah, I
being
like
a salty
that.
bin.
That sounds cool. Yeah, I like either of those. Those are the ones that just jumped out to me based on your summary, Anthony.
Okay, cool. Well, this just to give you the full vibe because I think it's nice.
Yeah, give it the full
This
vibes.
horizon-long salt flat is called the soul mirror. Barren save for a thin sheet of crystal clear water. Stare into its reflective surface for long enough, it is rumored, and you will see your own soul staring back.
Ah!
Ooh,
That's
fun.
pretty cool.
That's cool. The other one you
I'm
wanted
down.
was the fissure?
I was talking about the fissure. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first divide, a large fissure that divides 2 nearby land masses. It is slowly filling in from countless mudslides and avalanches, seen as both a metaphor and a prayer by those nearby. Ooh, interesting.
That feels very fitting with what we're doing. I do like the idea of seeing our soul, though. That sounds cool too. Those both sound
Right?
really
How'd
cool.
that look like?
Oh, what do you guys think? Is there something?
I'm leaning soul
That is
mirror. I don't know. It feels
yeah?
cool.
What do you think, Kurt?
Well, let's go Soul Mirror. I'm
Soul
down.
mirror? Okay, cool. I'm down with that.
Okay, soul mirror it is. We have a horizon-long
prompts in
salt
this.
flat near the Oamwood. We must also have a wood, I assume.
Yeah, it is.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I love Locke
Yeah.
the Fox telling us that salt flat just equals Utah. If you were
I mean, that's what I thought. That was my first thought, but then I thought I've never been to Utah. Let's
yeah.
not take advantage of that.
Well, there you go. Locke is saying it. So I believe Locke. Locke always has great factoids in chat.
Okay. Ready? We have one more thing to choose about our home.
Also, thank you, Roll for Felicity, and hello.
Okay, ready? What is our home known for? We got 4 options. We have a
DJ
wondrous
Knight, glad
park.
you're having a good time in the YouTube chat.
Okay, we have a wondrous park. We have a soul well, which is a gateway into the afterlife, a well that reaches the afterlife. We have the necropolis, the size of a small city itself, which is an eerily beautiful graveyard, and a primordial stone altar, called the Stone of Reconciliation. Choose
like
your own
the
adventure,
graveyard.
Amanda. What would you like to hear more about?
I like the graveyard. Tell me more about the graveyard.
All right.
The necropolis.
The necropolis.
I love a necropolis. I just like the word necropolis.
It's a good one, eh?
Great word.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The necropolis, the size of a small city itself, is an eerily beautiful graveyard filled with the glorious dead and the unmarked grave alike. Open to all as a meditation and reflection on life and death itself. Big old graveyard is what I'm telling you.
Big old graveyard.
Big old graveyard.
I like the idea of it like worked in amongst the trees. It's the Ohm wood, and like the like necropolis is like built into the trees. Perhaps there's some treehouse mausoleums.
Oh, yeah, there are. Yeah, because the salt
Ooh.
preserves too much. It's seen as unseemly.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Wait, so
I
the salt preserves
love
too much is then like
that.
we don't bury them
We don't bury in the salt.
because they'd be
No.
preserved forever.
Right. So you bury in the forest, or when roots are too deep,
So
you bury in the trees.
there's like it's like there's above ground burials that happen.
Yeah. I think
Wow. That's
maybe
really
maybe
cool.
there's like a carrion tradition as well, depending on
Yeah,
what
yeah,
culture is
yeah.
being entombed.
Hmm.
Okay, I think that's it. We have our tree necropolis. And that's all the things we had to decide about our god and our home. So to recap, we have chosen Lotix the Eternal, the god of nature, the soul, death, and harmony. Our god's motive for going to war was to reap the souls of all of the warriors across this realm. And when Lotix died, the spirits were released, the ones that Lotix was keeping in the afterlife, and now they wander the world, haunting it. By being so close to Lotix, we have gained a strange calmness that exudes from our body. Whether the subject wishes to be calm or not, they must be. Our home is called the Ohmwood. It is surrounded by a horizon-long salt flat with a thin spread of water. If you stare into it, you can see your soul staring back. And within the trees of the Ohmwood is built the necropolis, a city-sized graveyard. That's it. Now, what do we do next, Kurt?
Now we need our fallen captain. So not
Okay.
only did our god pass, we lost our
We
captain
lost our
as well.
captain.
We lost
Wow.
our captain, our fallen
sucks.
captain. I know. I was always saying, be careful, but no. That's not true.
You're always
So
saying
that captain, don't you fall now.
Don't
Whatever
you fall
do.
now. So our captain
Did.
is going to have a nature of some kind that defines who they are. They're also going to have a name, but there's no hurry on that. Natures we can find over on the right-hand side there. This is like their defining trait. And there's some amount to choose from, like 8, always 8. Of course it's 8, Kurt. You know that it's 8.
I
is-
like fearsome or
Fearsome.
kind. Very different
Fearsome,
vibes.
kind.
Magnificent is also just great.
Ooh.
Because, like, what does that mean?
Magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful leader whose charisma and eloquence inspired their soldiers. Their followers are similarly graceful and spectacular. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to decide. Did you like fearsome?
That was one of the ones that jumped out to me. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I kind of like magnificent, I gotta say, and I'm basing this mostly on the fact that their followers take on the same sort of energy that the captain has, and so I'm kind of seeing this as choosing a little bit about like who we are.
Who we are, yeah.
And we could be fearsome, but I don't know if I want to be like ruthless and terrible. Maybe that'd be interesting. But I like the idea of being graceful in some way. A bunch of graceful warriors seems curious.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
Okay, so we like magnificent. Is that what we all want to do? There's
Let's do
lots
it.
of other options too. If something else jumped out to you guys, that's just what just jumped out to me.
Oh, I figure we got to choose eventually. Might as well choose that one.
All right.
The truth is, there's too many good options, so you just have to choose stuff. Otherwise
That's
you get
true.
stuck
There's so many
forever.
things we'll just never see because we didn't choose
Yeah.
a certain god, because we didn't choose a certain captain. Just
That's how it always goes, isn't
that's
it?
how it goes.
Anybody have a name or pronouns they want for our captain?
My name's Kurt. For our captain, let's see.
What about Carl?
I don't know if I can get with Carl. Carl
You
feels
like
a little
Carl?
too Bob the Human Fighter for me.
Carl the Magnificent.
That's kind
Yeah.
of what I'm saying. I don't know if I've ever met a magnificent Carl myself. They're probably out there. Shout out
I
to the
think they
magnificent
exist.
Carls of the world.
I think they exist. What do you like for a name?
Dimitri.
You can do
Dimitri?
Dimitri.
Like that?
Yeah, Dimitri's cool.
Is it a Lady Dimitri?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Dimitri the Magnificent. She was graceful, spectacular, and we watched her fall.
Bad.
Sad.
Okay, so now we have three things to choose. Our captain and company's symbol, our company's color, and our company's motto. I can never say that word correctly. It's always motto and never moto.
You want to say moto? That's where your brain goes?
You know what happened? You know that Smash Mouth song? All that glitters is gold.
Yeah.
Only shooting stars break them. And I think the word is motto, but they sing it motto. No, it's mold, isn't it? Never mind.
Mold.
Mold.
Yeah.
It's mold.
This is what this actually reveals that Anthony has no idea what any lyrics in any song are and is just trying to figure it out.
Is hearing mold and thinking maybe that's motto. Why does it sound so weird? Which honestly, if you were like, are they saying motto? And then you heard that sound that they make in that song, I would also be like,
You'd be confused.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Lock the Fox asks, what's a motto? It's like a saying, a rallying cry.
A phrase
that
you have that usually like represents you.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And it's not a mold, no matter what they tell you.
It's not a mold.
All right. Okay, Amanda, you are Dimitri for now. Okay, get into the role of Dimitri, our magnificent captain.
Mm-hmm.
Is your symbol an elegant peacock, a delicate rose, a glorious unicorn, a refined swan? Oh, Lock the Fox was just playing a trick on us in chat.
Oh, what? With Utah?
Lock the Fox responded to "What's a motto?" with "Nothing. What's a motto with you?"
Oh my goodness.
No.
You love to see it.
I went down to look at the mottos as well.
Okay. What do you see?
Just to take a sneak peek. Beauty sets us above, refined by purpose. The rose too has thorns. All my deeds to the gods. So that's me lifting up a sword.
Oh, I knew what you were doing. I wanted to get in on that.
So I really like, I don't know, I really like refined by purpose, but I also really like the rose too has thorns, which makes me want to make the symbol a rose, but then I also like the idea of a swan. I don't know why that's jumping up to me too. So like, I think Dimitri could be down with either of those personally. I think those could be her vibes.
What our choices are: a delicate rose or a refined swan.
Swans are also scary, like if they chase you.
It's not that you're wrong.
They're graceful, but they're also like intimidating, which is kind of interesting.
I love that, like, the specter of death in this world, like in our world, is like a hooded figure with like the scythe, but in this world, it's a swan, and they're like
opening their wings fully. Swans are scary.
Sick.
Yeah,
swans are scary,
but they're
we
also
all
pretty.
know that.
Yeah, so I like either of those. What do you guys think about the mottos? Are there any mottos that jumped out to you guys? If you're Dimitri, if we're all Dimitri right now, let's all be Dimitri. What do we think?
I like the rose too has thorns, but refined by purpose has its allure. It matches with Lotix. We have purpose.
Yeah.
We are here to reap.
I agree. All right. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah, we're here
Dimitri,
to reap.
Kurt?
We're here to reap.
Refined by purpose.
So I think we should choose the refined swan, and I actually like this idea.
This is
of
refined.
Yeah. Could Lotix have like, I don't know. I was gonna say a black swan, but maybe that's like two on the nose. Maybe it doesn't have to be black.
No,
I
like a black swan.
Okay.
That's very cool. Okay, so now we have to choose their nature.
Yes. No, their colors.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're colors.
So we have to choose from purple and silver, red and gold, bronze and purple, or teal and orange. What Harry Potter house will we be today?
No, that's not what this is.
I mean, these are all very interesting colors.
None of them work
I
with my
think-
Black Swan, or am I just being too limited in my thoughts?
None of them work with anything that I pictured in my mind, to be honest with you. But
Should we write in?
I think out of those, I like purple and silver and bronze and purple the most.
Yeah. What if we choose like a really
I mean,
dark
teal and
purple?
I was gonna say, so like purple, dark purple is great. You can get sort of like maybe like the foliage here is a purple color. That's not unheard
Ooh.
of. And then like the silver is the glimmering surface of the salt flats, right?
Smart. I love that.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that the silver. I like something that's kind of metallic. It just feels like right
Yeah.
for this. But I feel like red and gold feels too warm.
Yeah, that
Warm. Yeah.
I need something colder, which is why I like silver, because it's like kind of like a cold metal.
Sweet.
But then also bronze has like a sturdiness to it. So it feels good too. So yeah, purple and silver. We like purple and silver.
I'm just sold
I
by,
like
by
purple and
Kurt's identification
The
of where
lake?
the colors have come from, you know? The fact
Yeah,
purple
I like-
leaves, silver, salt flats, to me, I'm just like, oh, of course. It was there all along.
is there just for us.
Okay,
Great.
we've done it. We have created Dmitri, known to be magnificent, a beautiful leader whose charisma and eloquence has inspired us, and we follow with our best grace and spectacle. We have a refined black swan on our shields, purple and silver banners hang over our heads, and our motto is refined by purpose.
There we go.
Sick.
Okay. So now we know a lot more about what we were here to do. We know what our god, their whole deal is. We know who our captain was and how they guided us. Now we need to know about us. This game has each of us operating 3 characters,
Okay.
known as Lordsworn. We are all going to be creating 3 Lordsworn, and you'll have a column of 3 of them on the tab that says
We
Lordsworns in
each
it.
create 3.
Uh-huh. We
Okay.
each have 3. So pick a column, write in your little name in the spot that it says write player name here.
I wrote
I've
my
learned my
name.
lesson. And then this sheet is a little bit guided. What you need to pay attention to is the spots in Burgundy. So anything in Burgundy is up for grabs for you to make choices.
Oh my.
There are 26 different archetypes of sorts for your Lordsworn to be, which would be represented by about half a deck of cards.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That
Dang.
is so many.
Haha. There are lots.
I am just gonna get some more water really quickly because I'm out of water, and I'm also gonna make myself.
Amanda started reading the options and was like, oh boy, I'm gonna need some
got it.
water for this.
And I'm also just gonna put on the kettle while I do that because I want like a mocha, I think.
Whoa.
Just a little sleep. Yeah, I was up. I don't know if you guys saw, I was up really late power washing. So
You
that was
were,
my
playing,
life lesson.
were you playing a
Virtually, yes.
power washing. Yeah. Yeah, not in real life.
It'd be a good stream though.
I mean, it would probably still be
Audio
pretty
quality issues,
satisfying.
maybe.
The audio would suck.
I mean,
but-
the best is actually that when you play simulator, how much in Power Wash Simulator, it's just like is the sound. But everyone, when I was like, is that okay? Everyone's like, oh, I love the sound of Power Wash Simulator. It's so relaxing. I was like, cool. I'm glad everyone's here for it then.
That's
Cool.
funny.
Okay. I'll be back in like a minute. But
All right.
yes,
Kurt will make all of our choices before then. We will impress you when you get back.
Well, this time I have things I have to pick.
So many options. I'm just gonna pick things that jump out to me, so it shouldn't take me too long to create these.
That's how it's done. Great.
Are you ready, Kurt?
Pretty much, yeah. You were never supposed to find out how much work it was to put that one tab together, though. That's a big secret you don't know.
You're just saying I wasn't supposed to think critically about the fact that every time you choose a new god or captain, it changes all the options in the subsequent cells.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's normal. That's everyone does that.
um,
Uh,
the
yeah.
the public clamors.
Trying to decide. It was odd because it was sort of like a working trip, sort of a trip that we were meeting somebody's partner for the first time, and sort of a trip where it also kind of a vacation, right? Like not for us, we live here, but for them. And at one point, they were thinking of going to a sugar shack. For those of you at home who might not be familiar with what a sugar shack is a place that makes maple syrup, but also like kind of touristy, like you can have a closed to the public maple farm, but you can also have an open to the public. Hey, let's get some bonus dollars by running little tours, and everyone can see how maple syrup flows through tubes. You'd think it was a bucket, small farms maybe, but if you got a real operation, boy howdy, it's tubes, tubes full of tree juice. And we had to caution them, to the, don't go there. Why not? Uh, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, let me preface with that. There's nothing wrong with it. But the challenge is that A, it's only open a brief period of time. So when it's busy, it's busy. You can only make syrup at a certain time of year, right? So B, anybody who goes there wants to eat, right? Because you're there, maple syrup is there. Obviously, you expect to have pancakes or something. But there was, when we went with our English brother-in-law, there was a huge line of people wanting to eat pancakes. And who could blame them? We were amongst them. But it was one of those lines that by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, I'm tired. I don't want to be doing this right now. Oh, hey, roll for Felicity. Didn't see you there. Now I do. I think I smell popcorn.
Oh,
Either my partner made popcorn or I'm having a stronk. But probably
but
my
like
partner
a
made popcorn.
fun stroke where instead of toast is popcorn.
I can't tell if you're making a joke there, Otto. There were no waffles. I think there were only pancakes. Waffles, okay, here's the thing. You can make endless pancakes, right? The larger the griddle, the more pancakes you can make. But if you're like waffles require a specific setup. You need to have like an iron, and it's more precise in the terms of timing. And it's also maybe critically more of a pain in the ass to scale up. So if you're running an operation where distributing pancakes is like the primary obstacle to people like paying you and then leaving and having a good time, you're not going to serve waffles. You're just not. It's not on the table.
The economic reality of waffles. Thank you for enlightening us.
Yeah. Now, look, I love a good waffle, and I'm not saying there aren't waffles out there. You can go to plenty of buffets and have waffles, but like, there's not like an end of you don't have to. Nobody's going to cry if there's a temporary lull between waffles. And the children stand in the line and they pet chickens. That's not a universal thing, but like a child associated with the farm walked by holding the most beautiful chicken you've ever seen, offering for people to pet it. And one of my favorite memories from this trip, which I did enjoy in spite of everything, was my partner was going out of their mind hungry and went and got some like maple cheese because that was something you could buy without having to wait to get into the restaurant, and got back and the chicken had moved past us already. The child and the chicken had moved past. And so my partner walked up to the child and the chicken and said, "Can I please pet the chicken?" And it was the cutest sentence I'd ever heard in my life. And that's pretty much.
Please pet the chicken.
That's the story. So yes, did I have a maple update? I did.
You did.
I did all along.
My only maple update was that I went home last weekend for my grandmother's 90th birthday party, which was pretty cute, by the way. The woman has lots of friends for 90. I was impressed.
That's good.
Yeah. Very good. But I was home, and so was my niece, and we were having pancakes. We had all manner of things on the table, as you do if you are my family. We had like berry syrup and maple syrup, and my niece wanted all of them, like in little bowls, so she could dip her waffles into them. We are a waffle household. Cute. Very cute. And she anything she saw that was like new, she needed to like have a bowl for it, except for across the table, my father was putting corn syrup on his waffles. I hope corn syrup is a universal experience. Is that weird to you, Kurt?
It's less common to see up here, but it's an economic option. And I'll tell the truth, which is that as a kid, my mom was economical. And so she would like mix table syrup, I think we called it, and maple syrup.
Yeah.
And then we would have like half real, half not. And I don't see, look, corn syrup has its applications, right? I'm not going to ever knock corn syrup. I get it. It's got a point. But at that, we have been rejoined.
Wait, can I just say the very end of my story? I know.
Please, yeah. Sorry,
Amanda's not allowed to hear maple syrup time, but we'll break the rules just this one time.
I hear nothing.
My dad was putting the corn syrup onto his waffles, and my niece was like, "Ooh, is very young, by the way." Pointed at it and was like, "Granddad syrup," and I was like, "Oh, do you want some of that to dip as well?" And I got her a little bowl and was gonna pour it, and she was like, "No, granddad syrup." Only for granddad, apparently.
Love that. Extremely funny. Oh, that is really funny.
Welcome
Granddad
back,
syrup.
Amanda.
Not for me.
Thank you.
Not for me. Not for children. Think of all the maple syrup stories that Amanda has that we will never hear. It's just the way it is. Nothing to do about it.
So mine just says write, choose, or roll your Lordsworn's name here.
So you want to double click at the
So that's not valid yet. The burgundy bits are what you can interact with right now, and then there will be different burgundy bits for you.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, I feel like I clicked this before and there was a bunch of stuff. I just clicked the wrong part. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why there's the burgundy, because I knew you might get in trouble.
You knew. You were like, burgundy's where it's at, baby.
We have a lot of things to choose. If you do not see the spreadsheet right now, which is most of you that I'm talking to, we've got a lot of things to choose. We should maybe kick into it. Kurt, do you want to start by telling us about one of your Lordsworn? Maybe, I guess we should maybe just say names and then a kind of brief summary of who they are.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's somewhat intuitive. So I've got one of mine is a fading avatar. Basically, after the god died, because I was sort of an embodiment of the god, now I'm just fading away. Mortality is returning to me. It hurts. It's not good.
That's cool.
Yeah. I also have a wandering spellblade. This is someone who was a restless soul, magic and fighting, right? So I joined this marching crew. I saw something in it, something in the mission called to me. But my adventures may have made me familiar with death, but this loss is huge. Ooh. And then I have a bandit turned Lordsworn. I was a brigand, a thief.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then I turned over a new leaf and made friends. People didn't question where I came from. They were just happy to have me as part of the mission. I felt at home. And then just when my life felt like it would become normal, my god was slain on the battlefield, along with many of my new friends. So that's my character archetypes.
Cool. Okay. Huh. All right. I have some too. There's actually a lot of things to read, so I was just diving into a bit of it. But here are my archetypes. My first one is a scarred medic named Ari Blackwell. She, her pronouns. And Ari is like a tender-hearted soul, a caregiver, one who follows. Oh, sorry, is it Colix? Wait, what's the name of our god? Lotix. Oops, sorry. I am going to be struck down. It's a good thing our god's dead.
Close one.
You said Calix too, and I was thinking like Calix. And I was like, I don't know if Calix is a god, but the god of shelves.
God of shelves.
That's true. IKEA products are basically our gods, as close as we have these days.
Sometimes it feels that way. Yeah.
We worship. So Ari, she's a sort of a medic. There's like I think some followers of Lotix are like, their job is to try to, preserve life as much as you can, and then shepherd folks into dying. Partly like, a death doula / healer type, and that's Ari. And she has gone off to war to support the troops, not a fighter herself. When our god was struck down, I tried to heal them, to save them, but of course I was not powerful enough to do so. And I think that I was a bit of a coward on the battlefield as part of my story that I'm trying to overcome. My next archetype is the Creed Guard. They, them pronouns. Their name is Valakire Corvus. And the Creed Guard are literally the bodyguards of the god themselves. So while the god walked on the battlefield, the Creed Guard surround them. And
you fucked up.
I fucked up. I feel deeply guilty. I have fallen down on my post. That's part of the reason why our god has fallen. And one interesting little detail is that because I have been so close to them, the god themselves, through this process, I have seen the god in quiet moments and seen the anxiety, the doubt they have had about this plan. But I still blame myself for all this happened. My final archetype, which is kind of a little bit weird, honestly, is called Prophet of the Outer Gods, and their name is Drelke. He, him pronouns. And I've always had the whisperings of other gods, the lesser known gods in the back of my head from outside of the pantheon, and yet I've tried to sort of push them back. I've marched to war alongside this one of the gods of the pantheon, but with my doubts. And during the cataclysm, as the gods fell, the voice of the outer gods has thundered in my soul. And now I am called to them to see the truth of these pretender gods that have fallen in this conflict. Perhaps they are not what they truly I thought they were.
Cool.
We each also have like little details that we get to decide on, like a feature,
like a little detail,
some equipment. So that's fun. We don't have to do all of those out loud. Amanda, how are you doing over there? Do you need a bit more time to decide?
I am almost done. I have picked my 3 like sort of archetypes, if you will. And then I have chosen one of them is complete. And then the other 2 I just gotta fill in like the rest of the things, like the features, the keepsake, the equipment, the name.
Okay, nice. Kurt, do you want to tell us about the little details of your three characters and maybe give them names for us?
Would love to. My fading avatar is Aryanwin the Bright. He, they pronouns. Cold flesh, alabaster marble texture, cracks already dancing along it. And when I speak, my voice echoes.
Ooh.
When I ascended to my role as avatar, I was made to forget everything prior, but in my pocket there remains a strange stone. It feels like home, but there's a certain irony to it as my flesh turns stone as well. I wield the bow who killed a moon.
Ooh.
I also bring with me my wandering spellblade, Sirocco, the wandering winds, he, him pronouns. Sirocco wears a gilded mask with floral features on it in, of course, purple and silver. Silver mask, purple flowers all along it. And I have long flowing hair kept in a unique style. I think it's braided into something approximating a floral pattern as well through some clever spell. I have a favor from a sweetheart awaiting me home, which is a religious symbol for safe travels.
Ooh, okay.
And I carry a rapier and a silver casting staff.
Ooh.
I like to imagine my silver casting staff having about the weight and body of a flute. And maybe it also has little buttons on the side that I can tinker with to get the right pitch of a spell. Finally, I have Emmy Fourfinger, who's my bandit turned Lordsworn, known as Fourfinger because I got some missing fingers, got a hodgepodge of armor scavenged from battles, got a single gold coin I clutch tightly. Why? It's the first one I earned honestly. Finally, she carries a long bow and a long knife.
Okay, nice. That's really cool. I love all the details of this game. Oh my gosh. There's so many fun things.
And we're going to see 9 sets of options from 26.
Okay, I can give you a couple of details of my own. Oh my gosh. Oops. Sorry, folks. The stream is a little funky at the moment.
Is
What
it
kind of funky?
My computer is accidentally updating every Microsoft product in the background. Ah!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
I don't even know how to
Where's
stop
the God
it.
of Sandwiches? Oh my goodness, God of Sandwiches might also be gone. Tragic.
I think we're back-ish to normal
What?
now.
God of Sandwiches? What are you talking about, Amanda?
That's what Locke asked. Where's the God of Sandwiches?
Oh, I see. Right, also fell in battle. Okay, I'm with you now.
And
I'm with you
Rapala
now.
said it's the Earl of Sandwich, Locke.
Right. Pay respect upon the name.
Do you want to hear a couple little details of my 3 Lordsworns?
Yes.
But of course.
Okay. So Aerie, the scarred medic, is dressed in a once pristinely kept apron, which is now covered in the blood of the fallen, and has a bag of surgical and medical tools. She has a pressed flower preserved in a wax necklace, a gift from a patient, now turned lover. And she also carries a war scythe on her back just to protect herself. Valkyr, the Creed Guard, has a deep maroon-colored cape that marks me of an ancient knightly order and has a sanctified prosthetic arm, as all Creed Guard do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shit.
I was given a gift from our god in secret, a simple stone which is warm to the touch and was believed to go cold when they died, but it remains warm for some reason. And carries an ancient gladius and a shield. And finally, Drauke, a prophet from the outer gods, has growing from their back the wings of a vulture that began to grow as the calamity happened. They are small now, but growing each day, and there are cryptic text tattoos that move about my body. On my thigh is the brand of a secret society who secretly questioned the authority of our god. And I wonder if they know the truth about the cataclysm. And I have cool crow feather daggers. Yeah!
Love it.
It is time for Amanda to reveal her secrets that she's been keeping.
All right. I like.
Night, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
All right. So I have Delilah of Dahlia, who is a fervent follower. Basically, I left like everything and dedicated everything that I am to the person, the God that I followed. I just like abandoned everything that I was doing for this.
Okay.
I believed in them so much so that when they were struck down, I basically ran in towards the fight. And I don't even remember who pulled me out, how I got out of it. I don't even remember any of that. But now that I'm still alive and I'm here, I have to now kind of deal with the fact that everything that I pledged, like, what's the point of it? Because now this god is gone and I did everything for them and now they're just like a corpse.
Cool. Wow.
Delilah has a well-made but still worn monk robes and an accent that hints at you having renounced noble lands and titles.
Ooh.
Keepsake, a hand-carved pendant shaped in your god's symbol, given to you by a fellow follower and lover. And my weapon is a blessed flail. And
Cool.
then
That's cool.
there's Waite Myrtle. And Waite is an eccentric engineer, they, them pronouns. Waite is a tinkerer who just always wanted to like make things like better and better and better. And I kind of became an outsider because I'm so unconventional in the fact that I'm always trying to improve everything. However, just because I'm an outsider doesn't mean I gave up on anything, because I believe that I'm just really smart. And even though some people think I'm crazy, I'm just a genius and people don't get me. You know how it is.
Let him say it.
Yeah, let him say it. Let him prove that, that I'm crazy, when really in a few years people are going to be like, thank God for this person. When the gods called their armies, they needed engineers. So I ended up joining the fight for that reason. And I wanted to prove myself to my god. However, when my god fell in battle, I kind of went a little crazy and reality started to slip from me a bit. So I'm trying to figure out how to fix everything and mend all of the broken stuff with new pieces, with new ideas. And now I am questioning, what good is this mind that I have in a world where everything is broken and dead? And so everything that I thought I knew ceases to exist.
Whoa.
Yeah. Waite has goggles with various magnifying lenses and outlandish future forward attire that marks them either as super weird or ahead of the curve, depending on your perspective.
Nice.
Their keepsake is a small clockwork bird that flutters a few feet before falling to the ground, a gift from their child.
Oh.
And their weapon is a multi-level self-reloading crossbow.
Whoa, that seems like overkill.
Yeah.
Seems sick as hell.
And then my final person is a bold skald, Bry for short, Firstbjorn. He is a warrior poet.
Sick.
He, him pronouns. I have a bardic blade, and I'm out here to basically make a song, make a tale of my own, get this epic saga down. I've learned from so many people over the years, and with this war, I saw my opportunity to basically get in there and make a name for myself. Um, and my thing is that my stories, although I thought I knew what I was getting into when I joined this fight and I joined up with this group and fought for my god, I wasn't really prepared for the reality, I think, of war. And so I'm now kind of struggling with this idea of having lived through war and seeing what happened to my god firsthand and how awful that is. Do I be honest and like just kind of denounce all of this and call it what it is, or do I use it as fuel for my poetry to like make my art and make my story and take my place in the world? But to do that is basically to become a liar, because there's nothing really glorious about, I think, what I've seen. So Bry has a myriad of scars that tell their own stories and a tattoo containing the words of the first song. They have lines of poetry that I've kind of written down that is a rough first draft.
Okay.
As my keepsake. And my weapon is a sword, a buckler, and a wooden flute.
And a wooden flute. Love that you're playing the bard, even in this game.
You didn't pick the one I thought you would. There was one that I didn't code anything this time. God knows I didn't have time to do any kind of funny business this time.
What was the one that you thought I was going to pick?
I thought you might pick Warm-Hearted Chef, weirdly.
I didn't see that one. Warm-Hearted Chef.
Warm-Hearted Chef.
A cultish oracle also sounds fun. Yeah, I kind of just did like a brief glance to see what I had. Warm-Hearted
I mean, there's so many
Chef.
options. You just had to pick, right?
All of them good.
All of them good.
I didn't even see that one. Oh yeah, there it is. Warm-Hearted Chef. Yeah, so I just picked what jumped out to me, like, without really reading all of them. But
you did great.
That being said, there is a lot of really good ones. And there were some that I picked that you guys had already picked, but then I was like, I don't want to have any repeats. So I was like, I also have like, there's enough there that you're like, it's not like I'm missing out if I don't play that, because gosh, there's like 8 things that popped out at me just from not even reading everything that I was like, any of these are good.
Guys, we did it. We set up all the things. I think we did it.
We made 9 characters.
And a god and a captain.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah, kind of 11 characters.
Oh my god.
So thanks for joining us, folks. That's 11 characters.
That's
and
11 characters, and that's the end of the
that's
stream.
11 characters, baby.
And this has been 11 characters, twitch.com/11 characters.
Tune in next week when we'll make 11 more characters.
Why 11? We'll reveal it at the end of this season.
Welcome to our character creator stream. Could you imagine?
Honestly, given the way that the like time usually breaks down between for these like one shots, it's kind of character creator the stream, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I would say it depends on the game that we're playing, but yeah, around half of our stream at least usually ends up being like character creation.
It is true.
It's true. But I've mellowed out in my recent years. I won't hold us to one session if we feel like we need a little more.
Wow.
That's okay. I've grown, I've changed.
Crazy.
I understand that sometimes you can have 2 shots.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes you can't. I mean, I think especially depending on how much setup you have to do. When you have to make 11 characters, then that might be a 2-part stream. That's true. Well, that's a lot of characters. But we'll see.
We'll see. So now we've got our cast. Mm-hmm. We've got our cast. We've got our setup. It's time. Well, actually, it's time for me to probably ask if anybody needs to pee or anything.
Oh, before we jump in?
Yeah.
I'm okay. How you doing, Amanda?
I'm good. DJ Knight, are you okay? You said that you're losing your mind in the YouTube chat. Are you good?
Are you good?
Losing your mind? Are you all right? I am here. Yes, I am here. But, if this isn't your vibe, totally cool. Totally get it's not everybody's vibe. Not all the content that I make is everybody's jam. So if you need to go do something else, don't lose your mind, hold on to that. That's important.
Yeah, you might use that again sometime.
You might
Maybe not
need
right
it.
away.
You might need it one day to make 11 characters. You never know. You never know.
You never know.
But yeah, I'm good. I think I'm okay to jump in. I don't think I need to use the bathroom. Does anyone need a bio break?
Let's do it.
Oh, great.
Right?
I thought you were going the other way with that, Anthony. I was like, oh, Anthony's really got to go.
I gotta pee so
Let's
bad.
do it.
I'm peeing now.
Let's bio break.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So, here's how we do. Now that we have our Lordsworns, essentially what we're going to be doing is going through a series of weeks in which there's going to be 2 events.
Okay.
We're going to quasi-randomly generate these events, and then we're going to navigate them. We're going to have our Lordsworns. There will be some dice rolling even.
Whoa.
Would you believe it? In a game I brought to the table,
my gosh, Kurt,
it's
are you
more
feeling
likely than you
okay?
think. I'm losing my mind. Okay. If you would like, I would invite either of you to get either of the following things. You don't need this, but you may get it. D4s or any multiplication of that. A deck of cards. You don't need to do either of these things, but you can.
I have at
why?
least one of those things virtually.
Sick. The reason a deck of cards is possible as something you could use is because we will be randomly determining which Lordsworns are spotlighted on any given round. But we don't actually need to do that. Like, there's only 3. It would be a deck of 3, right? So, like, it doesn't.
Oh.
Right.
I see, yeah.
So we don't. So we do that or we don't do that.
I would say, don't worry about it. If you got a deck of cards nearby, you can do it. I'll probably just choose a spot on the spreadsheet and write down.
Or like just a
Well,
D6.
I mean, I gotta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could also do it with a D6.
You could.
I have a deck of cards that I could grab. But
You know what? I'll grab my deck of cards too, just because I like to do
All
it.
right.
And I don't
Okay.
have any D4s. And what if I did? All right,
Nerd
I'll be right
break.
back.
all right, okay, be right back. The
Haha,
nerd break, is that what you
not
said?
Yeah. We don't have biological needs. We only have nerdy needs, where we require decks of cards. Oh my gosh. I think this is the first time they have let me have the stream all to myself. This was never supposed to happen. Who knows what will happen now? I think if I had a stream of my own, to be honest, what I would do is just like write a really sad novel, but like with you all, We would like co-write it together, and we'd like get to a point and be like, okay, now what happens to Kaleo, And it would be like, should we kill them? And you guys would be like, yeah. And then we would just write a miserable story together. And I'd have a great time, but I don't think anybody else would. And that's why I only stream with Amanda and Kurt, because you know what? We want some people to watch it. Rapala, what? What's up? Amanda, what are you doing here? This is my stream. Get out.
Oh, sorry. I'll leave.
I'm starting my illustrious solo streaming career. I think I am going to start playing Valorant. Was that good? Is that a game?
You are going to start playing Valorant?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was you were reading something in chat because I couldn't imagine in my mind for some reason. I was like,
playing
Anthony's
Valorant?
not talking about himself playing Valorant, is he? And then I was like, wait,
That
I
doesn't
think he
seem
is.
likely.
Have you ever played Valorant, Anthony?
I have never played Valorant.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
I'd play Valorant with you.
Nice.
It's a pun. It's like it's about a bunch of ants.
Valor Ant.
Aw.
Kurt, we should make
Valor
that game and just try to steal Steam downloads. People try to go install Valorant and instead they install Valor Ant.
Ant,
Yeah,
Valorant.
we'll be like the grandma version of DVDs, that are there in like the Walmart, so that somebody's relative buys them, even though it's not what the kid wants. Yeah.
Caribbean Pirates of the Seven Seas. And you're like, yeah, that's the right one.
Here's my fading avatar, the 6 of spades.
Circle cards, what the heck?
Yeah. They're from my olden days, from a board game cafe I used to work at.
Ye olden days.
Oh, I used to work at a board game cafe too. That's crazy.
That's
I used to work
crazy.
at a board game cafe too.
Whoa, that's
That
crazy.
one actually is a coincidence, though.
Yeah,
that
we
one's
didn't work at
not
the same
one.
That's not the same one.
Rapala, you are also amazing and bring much joy. Just to make sure we cover that.
Yeah, that's important to cover. So
Kurt, how do you
I
play
got
the
some
game?
stuff.
Okay. I'll tell you how you play the game.
I
I didn't drop the PDF.
Rapala
in
currently
the,
works at a board game cafe? Sorry, Kurt, sorry.
Rapala.
That true?
No. Do you?
I feel like I've gotten way worse at reading chat. I feel like chat's constantly saying things that are lies, and then I get tricked. It's lies
do you
that
enjoy them?
I'll enjoy.
Lies. Do you enjoy these lies?
Yeah, they keep
Chat's
getting
just
me.
trying to pay us back in kind
That makes sense.
for our lies.
I've managed to pick I've managed to pick the 2 most similar of possibilities. I have the 6 and 9 of hearts, which is
Nice.
very funny. That's fine.
69 of hearts, if you know what
Okay.
I'm saying.
I have my
It's the
deck
number
of many
before
dice
70.
that I'll probably use.
I don't know what that means.
They're like cards, playing cards. Like they have like a suit and like a type on them. So this is like an ace of hearts. But then it also tells you for whatever type of die that you needed to roll, like what the result would
Oh,
be. Yeah.
well, that's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you can kind of use it for multiple things.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, that's from Fortune Teller. They have the deck of many dice. And
Wait,
then
but like 20 doesn't divide evenly into 52. Those are rigged dice.
no. I don't know. I don't know if
No.
D20s.
No.
Oh yeah, D20s are on here, but I don't know how the math works, man. But I know the math is sound because I've talked to the person that like literally designed it. So I know the
Okay.
math is sound. But if you're asking like, but how does that work? I don't know. I can't explain
Well, we're
it
going to
to
be
you.
skeptical until you get them on the air,
Yeah.
and then they
I'll,
can lie to us about.
I'll ask next time I'm hanging with them. I'll be like, can you explain the math of this to me? Because I had people that were asking about it. I also have
I
all
had
my
people
dice,
that distrust you.
and I also have a deck of cards that are regular in case I decide I want to mix it up.
Cool. All right. Here's how this is
All
going to
the
go.
options. Mhm.
It's week 1. So it is pretty fresh off the battlefield. Actually, just before we like jump into our first like pretty much like scenes, we'll be jumping into things pretty quick. I would ask, you know what? I'll do it. Here's a quick summary. We serve Lodix the Eternal, the goddess. Did we decide god or goddess?
We've been using more he/him pronouns than anything else, but
you want to go with God?
I think
Let's go with
so.
God. Yeah.
I guess it's hard to tell with the skull, right? So we'll just
I think
say
it could be
We'll say
like
God.
any pronouns kind
interchangeable.
of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but God could mean like God doesn't have to just necessarily be masculine. It could have.
That's
few
fair. You got a
But I
great
would
point.
say God is the term we choose. Yeah. Could be
Immediately
masculine.
sidetracked myself on questions of gender representation of the skull. Lodix the Eternal, god of nature, the soul, death, and harmony. We went to war because we wanted to reap souls. It was time to form a balance. It was time to thresh souls and bring them to the beautiful afterlife. However, Lodix perished in this, and now all fear death and spirits. The lands are haunted, and there's screams of those lost in a quagmire of grayness. Each of us, all of our 9 Lordsworn, have this feeling of peace that anybody in our company feels overtaking them. But it's now time for rest. Our home that we hail from is called Olmwood. Purple foliage stretches out just up to the edge of a vast salt flat. It's said that the single thin sheet of crystal clear water can be stared into, and you will see your own soul staring back. Our home was also known for the necropolis, which is an eerily beautiful graveyard amongst the trees. Our fallen captain she was named Dimitri. She was magnificent, a beautiful leader, charisma and eloquence alike. We too are graceful and spectacular. Our company has the symbol of a swan. We carry banners of purple and silver, and our captain, she used to say, refined by purpose. So, with our Lordsworns immediately off the battle, I would ask that one of you, if you don't mind, if you could read the passage just underneath week 1 on the Journey and Epilogue tab.
I would be happy to. Your journey begins as a bittersweet contrast to the harrowing battlefield. The land shudders, but is not yet reeling from the death of the gods and the shedding of so much blood. People are still humane, wanting to assist where they can, and death seems a faraway fear for your Lordsworns.
Great.
Interesting.
So, we are going to be rolling 3d4 now, and we will assign one value from each of the dice to an aspect of our first event, Unaware. So, I guess just everybody roll a d4.
Do we just roll? We just roll one?
Yeah, just roll one.
Okay. Look, I have this one that it's a dagger.
Ooh, I love those. Those are cool.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 4.
So did I.
Oh. Should I choose the entity?
Sure. So we are welcome to distribute them how we will. There are two options for each. We are picking an entity, something that our Lordsworns encounter. We're picking an adjective to describe this situation or entity, and an action that this entity is performing when we run into them.
Okay. And so there's 2 options for each number.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah, okay.
And also you're not locked to saying that your 2 is for entity, for example. You could say, I'm going to use mine on an adjective.
Okay.
I'm going to use mine on an action.
All right. Then let's just freestyle it, like just jump in with the thing that you think you want to use your number for. I'm going to say we're at a warm in.
Ooh. There you go.
Warm in.
Easy peasy, right?
Nice. I'm going to say that it is welcoming.
And I will say that at present, they are fortifying this inn.
Ooh, interesting.
I like that. That makes sense.
Now,
all the gods just died. Time to fortify the inn.
Right, right. So I guess the question is, now we must determine who is participating in this particular event. Since this is a 3-player game, we're all going to draw one of our Lordsworn. And if you have your deck of cards, then identify the 3 cards in it. And if you don't, you can just roll a die. Just all we got to do is remember which ones you've used, because we cycle through them.
Oh,
we're going to see all 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is no big deal. You can use notes or a brain or whatever you like.
So wait, now we draw cards?
1 card to determine which of your Lordsworns is going to be in the spotlight this scene.
No
I have drawn Airy, the scarred.
No,
medic.
Amanda, each of your Lordsworns has a value for it. You've got the Queen of Spades, the Jack of Spades,
okay. One of my
and the Jack of Hearts.
Lordsworns. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
got it.
so feel free to just roll a
Yeah,
die. 1 to 2 is your first one, 3 to 4 is your second one, 5 to 6 is your last one. Your call. How you want to do it.
Or just pick.
Yeah, nope. You got to randomly determine.
Gotta be
I gotta randomly determine. So how would you randomly determine it, like in the game? Do they suggest you roll a die, or do they suggest you have those cards like from a deck and you just shuffle them?
That's what they suggest.
Okay.
If I had had a little longer, I would have made custom playing cards in a deeply unnecessary playingcards.io page.
Playing cards. Oh yeah.
Look, you've seen me do it before for Monday's game. That's a trick that goes up my sleeve.
Better stuff.
I've done dumber stuff in the past.
Couldn't the spreadsheet have like a little randomized button?
These cards.
It could, but random functions on spreadsheets are a little messy because it's random. first of all, it randomizes every single time anyone does anything.
Yeah, true.
So if you click something, it randomizes. But also, second, it's not the same
It's
for
not
you
really
seeing it as
random.
it is for me seeing it.
Oh.
No, it is random. But if Anthony is seeing X result, I might be seeing Y result. It's a weird issue that means that I haven't done elaborate card builds before.
Gotcha. Now
So
we know.
I just grabbed the cards that represent my characters. Like that. Now I'm just gonna pull one.
Yep, bingo. Oh, we're not playing bingo. Sorry, didn't mean to confuse us. Jack of
Jack.
Spades.
Let's play bingo sometime.
Yeah, I'm
Which-
totally down. Is there an RPG game where we can play bingo?
There is an RPG with bingo cards.
There you go.
There's one that just kickstarted at the same time as my Kickstarter. They reached out to me. It's a game about raccoons in a trench coat pretending to be super spies. And the players each have a bingo card of like a private series of goals that they're trying to do as like a
Right.
meta game attached to it.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
We should play that game. That sounds fun.
I do own it actually because we did a little swippity swappity. So maybe we
Maybe
will.
we could. So that means that the Jack of Spades for me is the eccentric engineer.
Great. On one of the 3 spots that say select the active Lordsworn in resolution, could you please do that? Could you put you there? I have the 6 of spades. Boop. Cool. So I'll just go through a little bit about how this works before we explore what this scene means
Okay.
and what our results are. So with the scene established and the spotlight determined, we're going to sort of discuss, actually pause for a second.
Pause.
We might want to talk, pause, stop the official narration. I guess there's a question of how do we want to interpret, there's always the question before we started, like what's happening here? Like why is there a warm in that's welcoming and fortifying? And we've said they're taking in anybody from the war and they're fortifying because who knows what's about to happen. So we've established sort of the context here. That's great. We've done it.
Okay.
The second thing that we want to do is, now that we've figured out who's here, there's the question of how the Lordsworns want to handle the event before them. So once we say go, our Lordsworns will be chatting. We can talk in character, describe what they're doing, narrate what they might be thinking, and everybody's just stating how their Lordsworn acts or interacts with the event and each other, how they might be helping each other or doing their own tasks. This is where we do the classic role-playing stuff, pulling in what we know about the Lordsworns, their little keepsakes, their stories, all that jive. Remember, they all know each other. They've been through a lot together. This is the end of a war that they lost. So it is okay to have people who are already like companionate. Finally, once we've got like a little back and forth between them, we know sort of what the situation is, we're going to have a roll.
Okay.
All of us are going to roll 3d4s. I'm going to go through this. We don't have to remember it exactly. We will do it when the time comes. All of us will roll 3d4s. We will keep the results hidden from each other. And then we are going to decide which one is relating to which result. Now, let me just get the actual wording here so that I don't muck up how this is.
Don't muck it up, Kurt.
Did I close it? Silly me. I'm opening that back up. Okay, so we're going to assign a value to each of the Lordsworns.
Okay.
Because you rolled 3 dice, 1 goes to each person. And then we get to talk about how we want to assign the 3 dice that our Lordsworn has between success, wounds, and morale. We won't talk about that yet because you'll forget. So just eventually there will be a roll. Higher is better.
And we assign them to the spot.
And that'll determine whether the event was a success or a failure. And we can determine sort of what that means
for us.
Okay.
So the best way I think that we can do this is just to kind of jump into like that approaching the inn scene. And one more time, the people that are with us, I have my fading avatar. That's Arianwen the Bright, who's turning to stone and immortal again. Do
I
you two want to
have
say who you have? Yeah.
I have Aerie, the scarred medic, who feels deep guilt for her cowardice on the battlefield.
I have Wait, who is an eccentric engineer, they them pronouns, who is basically in a place right now where they're kind of losing their minds because they're questioning what is the point of having a mind, even if like literally all of reality is kind of shattering around you because all the gods just died.
Yep, makes sense to me.
Cool.
As we approach the inn, I think we see, I want to say that this is sort of a style of architecture that might be associated with like adobe buildings, clay walls, clay tiles on the roof. Maybe a little worse from the wear because I don't think we're that far away from the battlefield right now. So we see a bunch of people outside patching walls and big troughs of clay and a stream flowing nearby is being like pulled in for water to stick things against it. Arianwen is going to turn to Airy and say, "Is it warm here?
Yes,
I feel warmth, I think."
it should be warm inside. Yes, I think we should find you a place to rest. You seem to be getting worse.
You
Perhaps I should
misunderstand
apply
me.
bandages.
I simply
Ah, this person doesn't need any bandages. They just need a little bit of grease in these cracks.
Uh,
And Wait comes up and starts to try to oil you.
Wait,
Hmm.
I don't believe that Aryanwin is mechanical in nature, but rather a gifted life by our god.
Our god is
This is
gone.
strange.
This is why everything is going wrong. Can't you both feel it? I mean, I'm sure these people are preparing for the worst. Look at what they have over there.
I know, wait.
I have been feeling things, and this feels strange. Is this pain? I think Arianwen holds the oiled arm. Ah,
What does it feel like? Describe it. Maybe we can Ari and I can help you out with it.
it's I remember. I remember pain. It's like a different kind of warmth, sharper. Hmm.
Perhaps this is an
Hmm.
insensitive question. Aryanwin, were you human before you were touched?
Yes,
Yes?
of course I was. Of course,
Oh,
I I was approached, and I ascended, and that was all there was to it. Lodix came to me, but that was many moons ago.
yes, yes.
And I think as Arianwen says this, they're holding that strange stone in their pocket from when they were made to forget everything prior to ascending. Feels oddly like home.
Perhaps we should find you a place to rest then. I'll go speak with the innkeepers and arrange us a room. We must take care of ourselves. I'll be back.
I
Hmm. Hmm.
what do
Wait,
you Yes?
what do you need?
Well, I need nothing. I'm doing all right. I'm examining the the what seems to be they're boarding up their windows over there, and Wait is flicking through toggles on their goggles
It's a good
to
ring to
zoom
it.
in to different areas. Mm, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be wanting any company. I guess Ari is probably the best one to approach them, though. Ari being a medical professional and all, there's a lot that they could offer if they need help, and perhaps that will allow us to get a place to stay for the night.
I think it is wise. People consider you strange. They consider me strange as well.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to you or I, or how strange we might be, or what it is that we might do. I mean, I mean, the fact that we're still alive, isn't that a testament to our grandeur? Would you say?
Indeed, says Aryan when running fingers along one of the cracks in their marble skin. And I think at this point, maybe it's time to do our roll.
All right.
So,
Sure.
I haven't tested how the sheet's going to play with us with this, so bear with me. What I'm going to ask you to do is roll 3d4 or equivalent, as long as you know what it means. And just each of us is going to assign one of those d4s to yourself, one of them to another player, and one of them to the last player. I would ask that you make the choice uninfluenced by the things that the other players click. Eventually, I'll reprogram this a little so that it doesn't show until everyone's selected. But that's not today.
I've rolled 2 3s and a 4, which is a pretty good roll. And
We don't get to know that yet.
don't
You have to
listen. I'm
choose
talking
first.
to other people.
Hey, chat.
Hey, you guys deafen. Will Ari find a place at the inn? Will Aryan win? Stay whole? Degrade quickly? Will Wait lose
I think
their
I'm just going to
mind?
have to roll this d4 3 times because I can't do the math on multiple different dice while I'm also thinking about the story.
What? You can't do the math? What do you mean? Oh, like keep track of all the.
I think he was trying to roll
Yeah.
like d20s or d12s or
Oh,
something.
Yeah. Do you need some D4s? Is that what you're saying?
I'm okay. I've got enough.
Wait, Amanda,
I-
did you give dice to us or did you just give dice to yourself?
I only give dice to myself. I'm supposed to give them to someone else.
Wait, am
That's
I
the
right?
whole thing that we're doing right
I'm
now.
sorry. I thought I was supposed to assign my own. Let me just remove that then. I think someone was already assigning me something.
Yeah, I tried to give you a thing.
Sorry if I
Yeah.
messed it
I
up.
like that you removed so much that you even removed your character. You're
Oh,
like,
God.
whoops, whoops, whoops,
Get it out of
big
here.
problem.
Get it out. It's not yet.
I'll leave the game. Bye.
Okay. Wait, so do I give one to myself?
One
You
must
give
go
one
to
to
you,
yourself.
one must go to Anthony, one must go to me.
Ooh.
And so you were saying just like we can assign the numbers, but let's not assign.
We won't choose the results. We choose the results for
Yeah,
ourselves.
don't choose the results yet. All you're choosing is where these numbers go. And I'm just going to reprogram this so that we can't see what everybody else is
programming
up
it
to
on
yet.
the fly, folks. This is happening live in front
Wild.
of you. That man is doing Google Sheets calculations in his head. What's he thinking?
He is.
What's he thinking? How does he do it?
He's thinking custom formula is.
Everything turned green all of a sudden. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's the default special formatting.
That's the default special formatting.
All right.
You heard it
Coming
here
at ya.
first, folks.
Let's reveal some
Also,
results that we've got
Do you
here.
guys ever have so many dice that you forget like where these dice even came from?
It's a real problem that happens.
Isn't that a real problem? I have this one that's like got moon phases on it. I don't know if you guys can see that.
I can't see it, but it sounds so cool. Is it useful?
It's got numbers on
Oh,
it.
it also has
too.
numbers. Okay.
But it's just also moon phases, and like the swirl inside it is really pretty. And I was like, is this someone else's? Is this my die? Like, where did I get it?
Where's
I
this
don't even
from?
remember. Maybe it came with something. I
Okay.
don't know.
I got 2 4s and a 3, which means that people like me best of all. Haha.
Wow. I got a 1, 2, and a 3, so not doing so good.
Nobody likes you, Wade.
Nobody likes me.
Here's
Well, I
how
gave
we'll-
myself the 1 actually, so I don't like myself. That's what we learned.
Wow. Get wrecked.
Maybe I'm
self.
my own worst enemy.
That's got to be lyrics, right? Did you know I
Yeah.
have the book? Wow, so cool.
Whoa, real
Whoa.
book.
That's
Kurt,
Love a
called
real book.
supporting your local designers while you're at Breakout Con.
yeah, folks.
Okay,
Dude.
so underneath, sorry,
Yeah, just tell us stuff.
right. So essentially, we now have to decide as a group, seeing the dice that we have, we're going to be deciding each of us must assign either success, wounds, or morale to each of those numbers. What does that mean? So the success or failure question is just like, do we succeed in this situation or fail? And it's pretty clear, I think, that our objective is just like find shelter. Don't get turned away because you're part of the god that started this war's cavalry. Seems fair. And if there are a certain amount of successes, then we will be successful. Surprise. If there are more failures than successes, then we have a bad thing happen, in short.
Okay.
Additionally, so that's one thing, the success or failure. You'll assign a die to success or failure. Also, you must assign one of your dice to wounds. Lordsworns can die.
Oh.
Each Lordsworn has up to 3 wounds they can take, and then they'll die.
Oh yeah, I saw that on our character sheet.
Yep. So if you have, I think the chart might be, no, the chart's not here, but basically a 1 or a 2 means you'll get 2 or 1 wounds, and a 3 or a 4, you get off scot-free. Wow.
Yeah.
Finally, we have morale. We'll lose morale on a 1 or a 2. Nothing happens on a 3, and a 4 gets a +1. Wow, 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 wow. So cool.
Whoa.
Now, this is on our little page here. I pasted the image in like a chump who doesn't know how to put numbers in a spot.
So do I have to assign 1 to success failure, 1 to morale, and 1 to wounds, or does I have to put 1 on
That's
wounds?
correct.
So we assign our own though.
Yeah, but we can talk about it. Now this part we can talk about.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna.
I want to be successful, I think.
I think it'll be nice to be successful here. Amanda's got the worst choices.
Yeah, so I mean, I can give us the success. That's fine. Because I have that, but it's just a
That
question
means you're gonna
of
take a wound
I guess I'll take
and big morale
I guess I'll
loss.
take a wound and then take a morale loss. Well, I mean, either way with 1 or 2, it's -1 morale, so
Yeah.
may as well put my 1 into morale and then put my 2 into wounds, so I only take 1 wound.
Okay. Well, I'll
That makes
recover
sense.
our morale. The wounds for weight kind of sucks, but okay.
Right. Oh, I don't have our morale put anywhere. We have 8 at the start.
Okay.
And that's also critical because that's how, now I remember,
Is that how the
supposed to
game
put morale here.
ends?
So that's how the game ends.
So
Or
when we get to 0?
We have 8.
Yeah, if we get to 0,
8 total morale or 8 morale for each character?
8 total morale.
Okay.
So if that hits 0, basically game over, bad ending. And if it, and I'll put this somewhere on the sheet. And if it doesn't, then we play through all the story beats and we get the good ending, whatever that entails.
Okay.
It depends on things we roll. So, okay, I think we're good on success. So I might as well choose 3 can be wounds because it doesn't make a difference. I might as well pick morale. Who cares? It's fine. All good. I mean, it's good anyway. It's good anyway.
Do you know if we can have more than 8 morale? Can we go up?
I doubt it, but I'll check right now
That's
while
okay.
we do this.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have
Give me
resolved. We know
morale,
that the
give me
event,
death.
the event was successful. So there is going to be no negative consequence.
Hey, so we get into the end and we're groovy.
We get into the end and we're groovy.
Should we narrate this
Closing
then?
narration is what we call the last little step here, and that's just sort of
How to go.
how to go.
Well, also,
So I take a wound.
you took a wound, yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a
So
wound.
how do you think that happened? Is our big question.
I think I tripped.
Oof.
I think I was playing with my goggles too much. And I kind of lost perception of what I was doing. And I think I just, like, when we were walking up from wherever we were, like the edge of the woods or wherever we were to the inn. I think I just was fiddling too much, and I basically like fell into a ditch and like kind of. I mean, it's one wound. So how what level
Well,
of
let's find out. We've got a little table here. Can you
yeah
roll three
yeah
d4s?
yeah. Oh, you can tell me what happens to me with these D4s, and then
Yeah,
I can tell you how that fits into the narrative. Is that the
sure
idea?
can. Sure can.
I got 2 1s and a 2.
Okay. Wow, that's a bad roll. That's a,
Yeah.
that's a you can see the wound table just on this page. That's a really bad roll. That's
Well, remember, it's only 1 wound. It's not 2 wounds, but it is 1 wound.
yeah, no, I hear you. Um, wow, okay. So assign the values that you've rolled to answer each of the three questions there, and then tell us how it changes your
Answer
Lordsworn.
3 of questions where?
Okay, are you on the journey and epilogue sheet?
Yeah.
Cool. Just at the bottom there, you should see. Oh, I don't have it labeled. Well, that'll do it. Wounds.
Wounds.
Wounds. Uh, so there's a few questions that Amanda, for folks at home, Amanda is having to answer the questions: which part of the body is hurt? How bad is the wound? And how complicated is the healing? Uh,
Ah.
and
Oh,
Amanda,
I see down here. Okay, yeah. So I rolled 2 1s and a 2, so my options
Oh
are either
dear.
head or torso. Um, severe or bad. Uh, and how complicated is the healing? Either for life or extremely painful. I'm gonna
wow, I don't think you
say
tripped. I think something worse happened to you. I'm just gonna say it.
I think
I have a
I
suggestion that I thought was interesting when you said trip that we'll just offer if in case you want it. What if like you
sure.
trip and this seems like a minor injury, but you just don't heal? Like something has happened and your body just gets worse instead of healing at all. You know, the world's changed.
Ooh.
Mm, yeah, I think it's gonna be my head. I think it's bad, but it's not severe. And I'm gonna say it's for life. So I think something when I tripped and fell, I thought I just like bonked my head, but I don't think that's what really happened. I don't even know if what happened was really physical or if the physical thing that happened to me was just a trigger for whatever was already going on in my brain.
Mm.
Maybe as a result of the stress of everything that's been going on, it could be somewhat like mental in basis,
Yeah.
could be psychological what's happening with weight, but I think it's that basically their memory is not what it was. And so they're taking like a damage to like their mind. Like they're not able to hold on to ideas like they used to be able to.
What if there's just like
Ooh,
a
yeah.
weeping dark wound where all the memories are coming out? Middle of the forehead.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Like that, like I just bandage up, but like it's like I just keep having to bandage it because it's not closing.
Ooh,
Um, okay. Let's narrate this little resolution here. Um,
sure, yeah.
Mhm.
I think Ari goes and negotiates with the inn, and they're a little hesitant about bringing people in because they are trying to prepare for the worst. But they agree that if we give them a helping hand with reconstruction, I mentioned we have an engineer with us, they'll let us have a place to stay. And while Waite is working on the repairing the sort of front of the building, perhaps that's when you trip. Does that make sense, Amanda?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And
Um,
Ari is like trying to Ari's like inside with Ari and Wen and like trying to like bandage up the body, but something about like the warmth of this place, the like care maybe that's here, is like preventing Aryan Wind's condition from getting worse. The human energy is buoying Aryan Wind's condition. And so I think Ari is surprised when it is Wait, not Aryan Wind, that needs the medical care this evening.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
I like that.
Nice.
Oh man, this sounds pretty bad. So I like that
bad.
Salty Tomat on YouTube said a mighty bad splinter. Indeed.
A
Very
mighty bad splinter
Mighty
indeed.
bad splinter. Ugh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Guys, I have bad
So
news.
that's that. What?
What is
You know
it?
when I was like, I don't need to go to the bathroom. I never need to pee. Let's play. I was wrong.
You need to go to the bathroom.
So I'm going to be right back, okay? A little
Okay,
Amanda
all
Kurt
right.
time.
Hello.
Hello.
I
How's
wasn't
everyone doing?
expecting you to have like a lifelong wound from the first scene of the game, but I guess we got 3 Lordsworn so that we can have horrible problems.
I got to imagine they make you make a bunch of characters in this game because some of them not going to make it, you know?
Right, it can't be just a coinky dink,
Yeah. I
which
mean, but
is
when you describe this as kind of being like a FromSoft, like kind of like a Souls-like vibe, I was like, ooh, so it's going to be brutal, is what it's going to be.
yeah, that must be just, I mean, it makes sense, right?
It does make sense. It does make sense. So I kind of like that because I feel like it fits. I just love how simply it happened, though. It
Yep.
wasn't like anything grand. But I think it's also interesting that now we're in a world where there are no gods. So like how does that change like everything, especially when you've pledged yourself to an entity that has been like wiped from existence. And like that was where your purpose was for pretty much all these characters in one way or the other.
Yeah, it's a great question and a
That
wild
makes you like really
situation,
vulnerable, doesn't it?
right?
To everything.
Well, here's a question. Have
Mhm.
you played any FromSoft games? Is that a domain that you dabble
No,
in?
I have not. I have not really played any games like that. I have been told I would like Elden Ring. A lot of people have been trying to get me to play Elden Ring, and I do want to play. But my thing is that a lot of them sound like now people say Elden Ring isn't as bad as some of the other ones, but I know there's a lot of parrying involved in these games.
Gotcha. And you don't consider yourself a talented parryist.
I wouldn't say I'm strong at parrying. I mean, I can roll with the best of them. People that were watching me play Assassin's Creed perhaps earlier will, I'm sure, remember me rolling all over the place. But when it comes to like block, like parry or like push back and like kind of take charge now that I've blocked into sort of an attack, not my strongest suit, I would say.
Let's
Right.
just
So,
say
yeah.
they don't call Amanda Matthew Perry. You know, that's not one of her nicknames.
Should be.
Should be.
They do not call me that. But you know, also at the same time, all games have kind of a learning curve. So it's really just about if you enjoy the game enough, then you know, you'll be fine, I think, with most stuff. I just realized that this die is one that you would really hate, Kurt. This D4 that I have.
Oh,
Oh, she
Because
looks
designed
pointy.
to murder.
it's Christmas trees.
Oh.
Huh?
And Kurt hates
But
Yeah.
Christmas?
This is the side that has the numbers on it.
Oh, I see. I see. My Christmas tree.
And I don't even there's no 4, right? Like I guess this would be the 4, all the Christmas trees up.
Huh.
That's the 4.
Well, now we
But I
know.
was like, this is like one that Kurt would be like, why is it like that? Why? That's not
Why
easy
is
to
it
read.
like that? Before we continue, I'll just say I was so bad at FromSoft games that my partner was watching me during the pandemic play Dark Souls and called the game Retrieval because when you die and then pick your shit back up, it says retrieval across the screen in giant letters. So the game was simply called, well, She sounded it out one day, giant letters filling the screen, retrieval. And so Dark Souls is just called retrieval in my household.
That's so funny.
Retrieval.
Retrieval.
Yeah, I've never played Dark Souls. I don't think I would ever play Dark Souls. I don't think that would be my one that I reach for, but yeah.
Shall we
Have you?
continue?
We
We
shall
shall,
continue.
we
Let's go.
shall.
I have now programmed the hidey clicky clicky.
Oh, wow.
So when it took me longer than I thought, there were a lot of conditions, but I've learned things, and now it's the next
conditions
scene.
Have been met.
Event 2? Is that
Event
Event
two.
2.
Time? Okay.
Panicked.
So now
Everyone
we
rolls
draw
D4.
a card again.
Yeah. No, everyone
Not
rolls
yet.
D4.
First, we'll roll 1d4.
Right, 1d4. 2.
Another 2
I also
for
got
me.
a 2.
Oh.
All right, 2's all around. So we're
Is this
encountering.
event 2?
This is event 2.
We've all rolled a 2.
Right. Oh, and then we're gonna go through the weeks. Oh, wow.
I think we should have a cleric.
Sick. This cleric's arguing.
Ooh, an arguing
Okay.
cleric. Are they guarded or anxious, Amanda?
They are anxious.
Okay.
Nice.
So what do we think? What do we think is the context for this?
I've got an idea.
Please.
It was our god who started the war, right? Who called people together, who tried
Okay.
to cleanse the world of mortals, and look what happened instead. Is it not our fault? And I think this cleric is perhaps of a different god, perhaps also fallen in the cataclysm. And they are.
Well, I mean, in the
upset with us.
cataclysm, did all the gods fall? All of them
No.
fell, right? No?
Some.
of them are
No.
still around.
Many.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are still around.
But a lot of them did.
Yeah. And so I think that this person has maybe seen us on the road. Maybe they're, not in the best of sorts, perhaps, and has come to argue with us. Do you guys like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
like that. Who are they arguing with is the question.
And that's what we're about
Well,
to
let's find out. Draw a
Let's see
card or whatever you're doing to randomize.
which of our characters is there.
And so each time it would be that we put them all together, though, right? Like I could get the engineer again.
Wrong.
Oh.
We're
You
So I have
drawing.
to
can't get
remove
the
the
engineer
engineer.
again until you've gone through. all
Oh,
three.
okay. So it's like deck builder. Gotta.
I like when the
Wow.
stream becomes a pop quiz for Amanda. Wrong.
Wrong.
Wrong. Incorrect. I'm gonna have to dock you marks for that one, Amanda.
I am bringing the prophet of the outer gods, whose name is, I forget. Drauque.
I am bringing my bold scald, Bry Fistbjorn.
I love Bry.
Yeah, Bry. Gotta love Bry.
And this is my bandit turned Lordsworn, Emmy Fourfinger.
Emmy!
I already love our group. We sound awesome. We're gonna handle this argument, I think, pretty good. That's what I think.
Bold Scald. Wait, can you remind me about this Bold Scald? Who is this person?
Yeah,
Who
bold
is this
scald
bold scald?
is
Oh, the storyteller.
Bry, Fistbjorn, who is a bard sort of, who drew up arms to join this war in the hopes to kind of get this like epic story out of it, and then in joining up and facing the war and seeing everything that was coming out of it, realizes now the war is pretty awful actually, and now is faced with this idea of, do I write like a great epic knowing that it's kind of glorifying something that's terrible, or do I just be honest and be like, war sucks?
Cool. Okay. Can I open our narration for us, guys?
And they have a flute.
I would
yeah.
love that.
And thanks.
They got a
Amanda.
flute. You're welcome.
Okay. So our little caravan here, departing the battlefield, is walking down sort of a fairly major road, but it's pretty abandoned. Most people are keeping home, staying off the roads. There's a lot of uncertainty in this time, but we are just trying to get home. And Bry leading the caravan, plucking notes here and there, maybe I guess on their flute. So they're tweeting little notes here and there as they sort of guide the way, a mournful song. And with the black swan of our company emblazoned on Bry's chest. And there's like an overturned cart by the side of the road. And we see a figure emerge from it. Purple robes, drenched in mud that's been soaking up from the feet. You can smell, even from a distance, Bry, the stench of alcohol coming off this person. They're an older cleric, maybe in their 60s, but still with a strong back, strong arms, and they stumble out of the cart. Lotic scum! You march to war to feed our blood to the ground. And look what you've done. Are you pleased now? Now that the souls have escaped from the place of death and they wander amongst us, we should hang each of you from these trees. Who knows if death even exists
old
anymore?
one. No, stop. The war is over. Emmy casts a nervous glance at the other members of the party. Be quiet. There is no more war.
No more war. Just because you've lost, you think you are immune from what you've created? I should rip your heart out, young one. What will you do to pay for the damage you've done?
What is your name? What is your name?
I am Archwayseer, Gronin. I am a seer of Hyrkanen herself, the soothsayer, who is now dead, who's dead by your god's hand. I watched Lotix bring his scythe across her neck. Never shall we see the future again. Gone are the mystic arts. You've destroyed this world.
We were merely doing the same as you were, though. I mean, when you think about where we've come from and how we all happen to even be here together, is there not some sort of magic in the fact that we all united in this war, a war that none of us had any place taking part in? We were fighting for Lotix, it's true. Clearly we are branded with that. I cannot deny that. However, what if the tables were turned? I would not strike you down. I would not strike you down because all of this, everything that we have seen, yes, the world is falling apart. Yes, this is happening. But it is happening because we all agreed to come and fight.
As Bry speaks these words, Emmy withdraws her hands that were already nervously fingering her knife.
Don't you see that because we've all come out here, that is why this has happened? It is not our God. It's not your God. It's not us and it is not you. It is something that is greater than all of those things. It is an idea, the idea of war, which hopefully heretofore has ended now because of what has happened here. That is all we can hope for.
Steps out from behind one of the caravans. Do not listen to the wordsmith, he says to the cleric.
Too many words! Far too many words, says the Archseer.
The wordsmith wants to convince themselves. Tell a story of innocence. But you are not wrong, cleric. Lotix betrayed us.
And what story do you tell, Vulture?
Lotix, I have heard whispers in my heart for a long time. Lotix is not what we thought. We were tricked. I know we were tricked. Lotix is not a hallowed one, but one from the depth. A dark one. Come to ruin this place. And all of us were tricked. All of us.
The cleric raises gnarled hands in frustration. Even amongst themselves. No vision. No understanding. And I think this is probably the point at which we need a little roly poo.
Let's do it.
So just like last time, you're going to roll 3 dice. This time, when you choose a die, the spot will be evidently unavailable. And once we've all chosen, we'll be able to see what we've picked. Again,
Okay, nice.
1 die to you, 1 die to somebody else, 1 die to somebody else.
Ooh, this is cool now. Now when we put the things in,
is
it
scary
blacks
now.
out. All right. Ooh, and then you put the
So
last one in,
now-
they all reveal. Kurt's so smart. What the heck?
Magic.
Boom, baby!
Full sheet stream.
Oh. Okay.
We're
Next
like
time,
a
I'll show you
special
guys.
brand of nerds, are we not? Rapala says, I'm Bry. Oh my goodness. You just might be. I could definitely see that.
All right. Let's
No,
reveal
like-
what's happened here.
No, like that's Rapala's name.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Ryan. That's true. That's true.
That's why I said truth. I didn't just mean, yeah, you're like that.
Yeah. I feel like Bry. Do people call you Bry for short, Rapala? Is that like a nickname you've ever had? I need to know.
We all need to know.
We need to know.
Although, Salty Tomat says Kurt is the smartest in all caps.
Smartest.
Love that.
I'll take it.
Smartest one.
Truth.
Truth. Agree.
All right, Amanda, what did you get?
Gosh, guys, it was not good for me for my rolls, okay? I did my best for you guys. I did my best. Once again, I gave myself like one of the worst ones, but I got two 1s and a 4.
And your character has received a 2, a 3, and a 1, right?
Yeah, so I gave myself a 1. I gave the prophet, how do you say their name? Drawl?
Dralque.
Dralque. I gave Drawl a 4 because I felt like you were making the most sense to the cleric. And then I gave Emmy a 1.
Okay.
Rude, one might say.
I gave Emmy a 4 myself. Everybody else a 2.
That's nice.
How do we want to assign these? Yeah. Oh, it's not a great roll. That much.
I
Please
think
don't.
I want
Not
to take
great.
my 4 as a success because I feel like that might, maybe getting the side of the cleric might get us something. But I think I want to take a morale hit here because this is bad. My 2 is going to be a morale hit because I just feel like whatever Doral is doing is bad
Yeah.
for everybody's morale.
It is bad for morale, I think it's totally fair to say.
I mean, I think I want to put my 3 as well towards the success because I do think that we've made
Okay.
enough of an argument with the cleric that we would actually succeed based on the sort of intro setup to the scenario. But I don't know. How do you feel about it, Kurt? For
I
your
kind of want
character?
Emmy to
Because
kill that
2
guy.
1s is hard. Yeah, well, I mean, if we go with the failure, then that could be we could just fight, right? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think this is going to turn out okay. We'll have like a quote unquote successful event, but it's not going to be good. I think Emmy's going to attack
Okay.
and then get wounded in the process by this cleric.
Oh, shoot.
That
So
only
it's like a
makes sense to me.
success in the sense that we decide, like we kind of like simmer it down just to like sneak attack is kind of almost the vibe.
Yeah, I
but
think so.
but it costs us. Yeah, that
Mhm.
makes sense. That makes sense.
And we're going to take a lot of morale hits because of this.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
I'm gonna say morale, but I mean, really, considering this scenario, morale hits I think makes a lot of sense based on the context of
Sure.
the scene.
But
Sounds
you know
like we're all
what?
feeling like we made bad choices.
I think so. I'm going to choose the 4 for morale. So I think our morale could be worse. The one comfort that we maybe get out of this. Here's how I'm imagining this. We've all picked now. So Emmy gets 2 wounds.
Oh,
So
boy.
deeply underestimates this situation. I think. we've got failure on the event scale. That makes sense because Emmy's about to do something very foolish. And then we've got, I think, a singular gain to morale from Emmy's side, which would mean in practice that there's slightly less bad of a morale situation after this. Functionally, that makes sense to me on the grounds of like, at least we have some power left in our bones.
I
But
like
I've got
that.
to do
I
some
also
rolling.
okay. I will say I feel
Please,
like
yeah.
having putting the 1 for me into morale, I think makes a lot of sense because I think my character is losing morale in general. And I feel like maybe, I also somehow get entwined in the fight. I wonder if like Emmy and Bry actually have some kind of like, do you think, I mean, all of these characters have a connection, right? Because we've all been kind of
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
together. But I wonder if there's like some kind of um like almost like I'm kind of getting like a brother sister vibe from
Ooh,
these two.
yeah, I think maybe on like like a mentorship kind of level, like maybe you're an older brother figure to Emmy, and
Yeah,
Emmy's always
because
had
like
twitchy
Emmy's like
fingers.
kind of like a fast and I think that's why Bry stepped out was to kind of try to like put themselves in between the two and try to bring it down. But then maybe with Drawl how do I say the name again?
Droll quay.
Drawl Quay. I think with Drawl coming in, I think that kind of just gave you maybe the opportunity to go for the throat, and then that would pull Brian to the fight because Brian's going to try to protect you,
Hmm.
even though
So,
not necessarily the best fighter, but I can scrap.
so we know one wound I've just checked for Emmy is going to be flesh wound, torso, could be worse. Uh, but the
That's not bad.
second one we'll see. I,
Uh oh, this
yeah.
is not bad for me.
Can't believe you got
Okay.
2 wounds. Jeez.
So I got a 1, a 3, and a 4 for my wound tables.
1, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Well, you could make that pretty not
So I'm gonna
bad.
say, yeah, I'm gonna say legs could be worse, but it's for life. I think maybe Bri just like loses a toe or something.
Okay.
Like he'll still be okay. It's not that bad, but it's also like, you can't like grow your toe back.
Here's how I think this plays out. Um, as the priest raises those wizened hands in frustration, sure looks a lot like a spell. And that's enough for Emmy to notch the bow and loose an arrow. But this priest was not alone, and we're seen fighting. I think there's a few camping nearby who approach us after Emmy's just struck down this old figure, right, who hasn't technically done anything to us. Uh, and Emmy gets 2 wounds. I think maybe there's a younger person who comes out with a knife, grazes Emmy, and then that emboldens Emmy, who charges with her own knife and then gets a much worse cut.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think there's like the muscle gets messed up, and just a really gnarly scar that's never going to heal right.
Oh wait, can I change up my wound based on this scenario? So I think
Yeah,
maybe actually I'll put the 1 to head, put the 3 to could be worse, and the healing is barely noticeable. And I think it's maybe just that in the mix of all this, Bri like tries to rush in and gets knocked out, so can't do anything.
Okay. Nice.
yeah,
So it's like
that
he's
makes sense.
fine. Like he wakes up later, like you don't even there's nothing that really needs to be done. He just needs to wake up.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, that means that he missed a window to try to like save Emmy in any way.
Yeah.
So maybe we can say that like with like Bry knocked out, Emmy gets like stabbed in the stomach, and maybe like the rest of the caravan catches up, and these these strangers that we've met, with their damage dealt, retreat back into the woods. Maybe
What's
Ares there to
Drawl
heal.
Quay doing during all of this? Is what I
Yeah.
want to know.
So Drawquay quickly steps back as the violence starts, and he just watches from behind the caravan
Wow.
as the violence unfolds, and it just becomes clear to him as he watches. Yes, a demon, and look how the world unfurls before him. Chaos and destruction. Morale hurt.
You do you tell people that you just didn't get involved in it? Do we do we pick up on that or no? Will our characters remember that?
You got knocked out, and Emmy was like pretty seriously wounded.
So it might be something that we just didn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assume you have backup, right? And it's not just the three of us in this company. So we can imagine that this is part of a larger altercation that transpires.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
yeah.
Interesting.
Whoa.
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 Guys, little stream powwow. That's the end of that scene, right? We did it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. All
Okay.
good. Yeah.
So it's 10 p.m. And I think we're only on week 1 out of 4.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just wondering
so-
whether I feel like we got 2 choices. Either we like try to wrap up relatively quickly and get through the rest of the game, but we might have to rush a bit, or we save it for next week. But I don't know if it's an awkward length of time to pick up next week, and we do a 2-parter because now Kurt is mature.
I've matured. I'm down for a 2-parter. Are you folks? Yeah.
I think that this requires a 2-part because I feel like there's a lot more story for us to build.
Yeah. I feel like
and
if
I
we
wouldn't
rush
wanna
it, we'll
rush
be
it.
like, oh, we didn't even get to know everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get to build the world. So the only thing that we need to remember is that it's whatever character we had last. So maybe what we do in the sheet is if you guys just want to select like the last character that you had,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Just put it in the
just so
spot.
we remember, and if we can just like make a mental note or chat, if you guys can remember for next week, we can all just try to remember, hey, the characters that are selected on there, don't change that because that's who we have to do, because then we'll get all our cards back and then we can go again.
I think that only makes sense.
Yeah.
Good brain, Amanda.
Good brain. Except for my engineer, whose brain is seeping black ooze, I think. Not so good.
Not so good. Not so
Seeping
good.
memories.
Okay. So that brings us to the end of part 1 of Lordsworn, a grim tale of. We've made ourselves the bad guys here for sure.
We are the villains, it appears.
What was your just motivation for war? Well, I wanted everyone to die.
You know.
Classic me.
Classic.
Thanks everybody for tuning in for part 1, it turns out, of Lordsworn. We will see you probably next week. We'll have to chat after stream. We always do a little dance where we talk after stream and be like, are you free? Are you free?
Are you free? Are we free? Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, usually we're back the following Monday, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks all for joining us. This was really nice.
Yeah.
Maybe, does anybody have anything they want to share with people before we sign off? Kurt, you got any game things? Your Kickstarter wrapped up.
It wrapped up. I shipped out 240 packages, and let me tell you, 200 of them at least are where they're going. I have even reports that some that were going to England have reached England. And I don't know if you folks knew this, but
Wow.
England's not close.
That's really cool. So
Yeah.
the completion, what do you call that? Fulfillment is going well.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that.
In fact, I can tell you, there's only 14 left in transit from my main shipping people. In fact, less because it's not, it doesn't know everything. There you go. Wow. So my update is mostly
Hey.
just like, hey, people are getting their books. People have said nice things. You love to see it.
Love to see it.
If you got your book, I don't know, play it. Show me your puppets.
If
I don't know,
people
play it or
wanted
something.
to buy your cool sock puppet RPG, can they still do that?
Yeah. So you can get a digital version online on my itch.io, which Amanda has so kindly just linked via Nightbot. And if you want to get a physical copy, soon I'll have it sent off to my suppliers in Canada, the UK, and the United States, but not yet because I haven't shipped the box yet. In fact, the strategic pillow here is currently blocking a box full of books. Should
uh,
I demonstrate?
yeah, why don't you
Yeah.
do it in the background while Amanda tells us what we need to know about Amanda things?
I'm gonna have some content coming up. I did a video on what is Daredevil Born Again, where I kind of talk about Daredevil Born Again in the comics. Also, shout outs to the Patreon. We just did our comic book club with Daredevil Born Again over there. So I went through all of it. I did a live stream. We literally went through the whole story. It was epic. And then I also just did a video on it to kind of just talk about the significance of that story and why it's so important and what it's about. And then kind of talking a little bit about how the how the MCU has been adapting it both in Netflix Daredevil season 3 and then obviously in Daredevil Born Again thus far. So that'll be going up on my channel. So if you guys haven't subscribed to me over on YouTube, that'll be up there. It's soon. There'll be more content coming for you guys. I have some X-Men watch-alongs that'll be up there for members. Check out my Patreon. We're gonna maybe be adding some more tiers to it as well this week. So check that out. And I will say that we are also almost at 50 followers here on Lies You'll Enjoy. It's a little shout out for us just over here. When we get one more, we begin our journey towards becoming affiliates. So if you're here and you're not already following us,
You could.
maybe consider following us. You could be our 50th, you know, or share this with a friend who might be into it. Yeah. What about you, Anthony? What do you have going on?
I love this stream with three nerds who play TTRPGs called Lies You'll Enjoy, which I think will be back next Monday or the Monday after, where they're going to play the second part of a great game called Lordsworn. So check
Love
that
it.
out.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll be back on stream on Wednesday if people want to come over to my stream. I'll be playing Split Fiction with Lucy. I think this is going to be our last. I think this might be the ending of Split Fiction. So if you guys want to catch that, it's been so fun and so funny playing it online. And we just set it up last time so that we have both of our cameras on screen so you can watch both of us as we run around and try to do stuff together. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all
Cool.
for joining us, and we will see you next week, where we will pick up part 2. Have a lovely evening. Go out there and lie to the people in your life, just like we have shown you how to do.